All right, good Tuesday, everyone. It is Dom time. Welcome in. And sometimes manna comes down from the heavens. It summarizes everything. A new tactic. Well, it's just a gut instinct. He's not smart enough as a tactic by Morning Joe Scarborough. And a lot of these people on the left, they've been saying it all week. What is wrong with you people? You hate America. You don't get America. You're not part of the America that I am. And the answer is, well, that last part is right. That somehow or another, these elitists, in quotes, just believe that their vision of America that works for them and their perch, it shows how disruptive President Trump is. The part that I'm going to play you from Joe Scarborough, though, that really got me, is his comparison yesterday, savaging Fox News. You wouldn't show Trump at the trial. That's the big story. Hey, you know what, buddy? You don't have any clue what the big story is. Do talk radio. Oh, you did do talk radio with Mika, and you couldn't do that.
Did he really?
Oh, I remembered, Dan, doing that show. I did like 30 or 40 of them.
Wait. You were a guest?
No, a host.
Wait.
Yes.
No.
Oh, yes.
You filled in for Joe?
Yes, when it was the original. Now, this is way back when, before he really turned. And it was...
Was it a, conservative show?
It was billed as that. I did about, a month and a half at least.
Really?
Straight. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, all I had to do was fix the hair, and that was it. Then when he went with Mika, it was really bad. Yes.
I had to go. A radio show's supposed to be done, huh?
I had to go up to New York and do it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Another guy did a show.
Yeah, another failed show.
So anyhow, you don't know what the big story is. He says yesterday the big story is Trump on trial, wall-to-wall coverage. He didn't like showing those protesters. Well, all I can tell you, listener response yesterday to the Trump stuff, it's wall-to-wall. People have made a decision. A lot of people think this is overkill. There was nothing new. It was picking jurors. It was, did Trump fall asleep or not? Which I definitely get in a proceeding like that. The protesters, though, how coordinated this was, as we told you it would happen here in Philadelphia and across the country, and the outrage of public officials, with one exception. Guess where? In Florida. They actually said, the spokesperson for Ron DeSantis, we dragged them, her words, out of there. They tried to block traffic. We dragged them. There was no, will you move? I'll give you 10 minutes. Everybody has to stay in traffic. They dragged them out of there. That's what America wanted to see yesterday. And America wanted to see the Newsom land of California. They wanted to see how Philadelphia did versus rehashing the Trump trial. Now, Fox did cover the Trump trial. So did we. But the protesters across the country, these mobs, trying to shut down our country, and police and others either being told, or some of these cops now believe it, well, if you get held up in traffic, that's because of the First Amendment. Not in Florida. What did Ronnie DeSantis say? We'll drag you out of there. And before we play Morning Joe, Dan, I think we have it here. I got in a little earlier. Tom Cotton, of all people, who's a Rhodes Scholar. I've interviewed him in person, and he's a pretty calm guy. He's kind of, our version of Bob Casey Jr. in some ways. He kind of went off. Here's what Senator Tom Cotton from Arkansas.
I don't have that one. Where's?
Oh, okay. We should have that one. Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas said that he thinks people across the country ought to just, he said, there's not that many of the protesters. Just push them out of there yourself. Wow. When have you heard a public figure say that? That these protesters should not be in your way. Here's Senator Tom Cotton.
Well, I feel very deeply for all those people who are trying to get to work or trying to pick up a kid. Very worried about the diversion of police resources when it needs to be stopping crime in cities. like San Francisco, where firefighters are having to go there when they might have calls for fires out. I have to say, Sandra, I agree with you that you have to get to these criminals early. If something like this happened in Arkansas on a bridge there, let's just say I think there'd be a lot of very wet criminals that have been tossed overboard, not by law enforcement, but by the people whose road they're blocking. If they glued their hands to a car or the pavement, well, probably pretty painful to have their skin ripped off. But I think that's the way we'd handle it in Arkansas. And I would encourage most people anywhere that get stuck behind criminals like this who are trying to block traffic to take matters in their own hands. There's only usually a few of them, and there's a lot of people being inconvenienced. It's time to put an end to this nonsense.
Wow, I was shocked that he said it. I don't know that I'd be advising him to say they'd be in the drink, Dan. Come on. It's on the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, my. And then the pulling of their hands if they glue themselves. That's Tom Cotton, who's usually more of the calmer voice, even though a military guy, et cetera, about this. So what was the big story yesterday? Oh, you guys just don't want to say it was Trump. He was the former president. He is running for office. No. This mob, these mobs coordinated across the country. That's the story. Steve Feldman of the Zionists for America will be here a little bit later on and will lay out the organizations that are funding this, behind this, and how these people all come together to coordinate these attacks on Americans. But here's Morning Joe. If you're a Trump person, if you watch Fox News, I guess he would include talk radio.
Put on your seatbelt.
Yes, you hate America. This is the new tactic. You're the one that, why are you running down America so much? Interesting spin, huh? Here's what Morning Joe said.
You live in the most powerful, greatest country on the face of the earth, and you're voting for a guy that tells you every day that America sucks? What's wrong with you? Who raised you?
Ha!
What history did you read?
That's it.
Like, where are you from? Because you may claim to be from where I'm from, but you were not raised by the same teachers I was raised by.
Oh,
and you don't read. Because if you read, Mike, the facts are clear.
Oh, man.
And I'm getting tired of saying this to people who claim to be patriotic but hate America, because they're always running America down. They're always trashing America. They're always saying America's horrible. Its democracy doesn't work. We need a dictatorship if Donald Trump doesn't win. I'm tired of people running America down. And on Fox News, and I'll just say it, on Fox News, they didn't want to show Donald Trump in trial. So they got 3 protests and said protests shut down America, basically. This weekend, there were like 4 migrants and a hound dog on top of the hill in New Mexico. And they had their 4 migrants and a hound dog cam on for hours. There's right now, I'm looking up the hill, and there are
what the heck is going on here?
3. I see a coyote. That's a hound dog, Bob. Okay, a hound dog. I mean, this is a world.
What is going on?
All right, Mika. Where's Mika during
Joe.
This? What's Mika up to?
Is Mika off?
Yeah, Mika must have been off. So Joe's off his rocker here.
It was with Barnacle today.
Yeah. The plagiarist.
Barnacle is feeding into it.
What is it with this channel and the plagiarists that they have? Barnacle, the Kearns Goodwin. Then they have all those historians, Michael Rashlos, John Meacham here, Douglas Brinkley here too. God. All right, I'd love to get your reaction to that. This has been said recently. This is what the left is doing. You hate America. You're running down America. You ever notice that Joe Biden does this at the end? It's so tiresome. The last paragraph, when he remembers at the end, where he says, and you never went wrong betting on America. I'm betting on America, he says.
This is a world.
It's not about betting on America. We're not betting on you. You're not America.
They give their view.
There's more if you wanted it. It's great.
Oh, yeah, let's hear a little bit more. It's classic.
They give their viewers anything to try to make America look bad. They are obsessed.
That's it.
On trashing America when America is stronger, more powerful than ever before.
What?
Its economy stronger and more powerful than ever before.
What?
So what do? They find a trans athlete in Utah.
That's really how they think.
Our world's coming to an end. Help us, Jesus. The country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better. It's stronger.
Hold on.
Country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better. It's stronger. We're more powerful. Our military's more powerful relative to the rest of the world. Our economy is stronger relative to the rest of the world. But you would never know this because they are fed a steady stream of hate America first rhetoric, which I suppose
Hate America first
is what you have the chairman of the House GOP saying that some of those dupes, backbenchers, are actually clinging to pro-Russian propaganda and spreading it across their districts, across America, and across the House floor.
Oh, my goodness. What a tour de force by the man. Let's all give him a collective hand. That is the best of Joe Scarborough.
Our world's coming to an end. Help us, Jesus.
Offending Utah, offending Jesus, offending those who think that women's sports. Next, he'll be saying Caitlin Clark is great, but yeah, a man can play against her.
The country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better.
Oh, that's a good question, too. Is it better? I'd say no. I think you would say no, too. In what way is it better over these last 4 years? In what way is America better over these? America's better. And boy, if there ever was a guy who fits the one word, the pompous.
This is a world.
This guy is pompous beyond belief. Yeah, I like the hair. I have to admit, I like the hair like that. That's not the pompous part. It's just, this is what he engages in. But there's a lot of these people that feel this way. What's wrong with these people? Why are they complaining so much? We're in power now. We control the media. We control academia. We control the presidency up and down the line. We control even the world of sports, the narrative there with ESPN. It's a better America because we're in control. And you have traditional America, which is successful and has succeeded, saying, no, this is not a better America. Man, we have to play that once in a while. It's invigorating.
It's a great clip, right?
Oh, my God. All right, 855-839-1210. Hit us with your response to that. I'm looking for some. You go to the top of the line if you agree with Joe. Yeah, I'm tired of you people always running down America.
This is a world.
All right, in addition to that, we have the president returning to Wildwood in May. We're on top of this. We'll hear from Jeff Van Drew, the architect. Now, do I think it's necessarily, Dan, the best use of time and strategy? Is he really telling us New Jersey's in play again? Oh, my God.
New Jersey's going red, Dom.
Or is he thinking that there will be a lot of Pennsylvanians at the shore there?
I think that's the idea.
Will Trump get into the whales there in the Jersey? Oh, he will. I'm sure. He'll attack the windmills. He loves attacking the windmills. I hear the line already. Well, what do you do when there's no wind that day?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going to hear it.
Those poor little whales.
All right. Give me your response to Morning Joe. Side question today. Today is National Eggs Benedict Day. And since Dan is in a previous life, he was a brunch, the master of the brunch, yes. Eggs Benedict. We're looking for something that was good, maybe even very good, but there was an improvement. It made it better, maybe even a lot better. Now, I'm in the camp. Once something's very good, my strategy is don't mess around with it. You know what I mean? No. I'm not messing around with that. Don't be tinkering. Let it alone. Dan over there, the Mona Lisa, I think I could put a little extra.
The Mona Lisa is a good example, but what's another example? You had that mindset about your Barca lounger for how many years? And now you found a new one, and look at you. You're all about the new one, right?
Well, it's fine, but I still like the old one. It was perfect. Yeah. All right, so we're looking for something that was good, but it was made better.
Oh, there's one right there. The chair made better by the Barca lounger. Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to say the cell phone. And the iPhone wasn't a scam. It actually did upgrade the cell phone tremendously. Usually these things are scammy, that there's nothing like that. But it actually upgraded it. All right, hit us with that at the end of your call. But if you have a pulse, you're hearing this more on the left. Stop running down America. Stop saying America's going to hell in a handbasket. Stop talking about the protesters yesterday. I mean, it's a test. And Tom Cotton passed the test. Ron DeSantis passed the test. If you have a pulse at all, if you're an American at all, you have to know you shouldn't have to sit in traffic as these mobs overrun us and make this their play day. This is what they get off on. There's no way. But for Cotton to say they'd be in the drink, that's what we would do in Arizona and Arkansas. Ron DeSantis, spokesperson, we dragged him off the street. Dragged him. Cops were just pulling him by their legs, dragging him along the ground right out of the causeway there. The protest lasted maybe 10 seconds. Why in the world are these? Now, Philadelphia responded pretty quickly. But Seattle, Portland, California, Chicago, the whole laundry list. 855-839-1210. AT&T and Verizon Wireless. All you have to do is just push pound 1210.
Help us, Jesus!
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can. In the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Are you still holding on to that winter weight? Time to shed that fat and get ready for the warmer weather of spring with NJ Diet. For over a decade, they've helped thousands of people lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. NJ Diet uses your hair and saliva along with scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements to get you to shed that fat quickly. Then NJ Diet uses your DNA info to help you keep the weight off. You are fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. And you even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in King of Prussia, Cherry Hill, and Newark, Delaware, or available from home with live online consultations. Call 855-5NJ-DIET, 855-5NJ-DIET, or schedule your consult today at njdiet.com. Get slimmer before this summer with njdiet.com.
Spring is the time to bring a breath of fresh air into your home with a bouquet of irresistible deals on home renovations at Colonial Marble and Granite. Right now, get a free sink and countertop when you buy a bathroom vanity. So get renovating and watch your beautiful home blossom. Sale ends April 22nd. Restrictions apply. See colonialmarble.net for details. That's colonialmarble.net for details.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit, 800-790-1400, 800-790-1400.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Our world's coming to an end. Help us, Jesus. The country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better.
All right, Tom Giordano show. It's gold. This is a classic that you'll hear over the years with Morning Joe going off. And he at least hit the big questions here. See, they're in this bubble. They're in control. They're making a lot of money. They have a lot of power. They're all in each other's parties, involved with each other, sometimes sexually, like Mika Brzezinski. So they're all plagiarists and covering that up. So America's good to them. America's better. You have no right. See, you're not part of the club. And if you're critical of this and Trump is that agent of this, that's dangerous. But imagine this guy actually believes the protesters yesterday is not a story. And by the way, as far as supporting the country, tell me the last time MSNBC gives such coverage to the military as, I don't know, Fox News Channel. Tell me how many times does Fox show people across America that are heroes? Maybe not physical courage, but all kinds of things. How many times do they do that? No, what they show you are people running down the country. Just look at the host there. Joy Reid, saluting America? I don't think so much. The pajama boy at night saluting America at 8 o'clock? Yeah, the onesie guy? No, he Google him, Dan, on what he said
I'm so curious now.
On a Memorial Day, attacking snipers and attacking American snipers. I think he attacked Chris Kyle, saying they were cowards. They're firing at people, along with Michael Moore. Rachel Maddow.
Right now, I'm looking up the hill, and there are 2, 3. I see a coyote.
Oh my God. I'm trying to think of some of their other main players there at MSNBC. Okay,
Rachel Maddow.
Rachel Maddow, another strong supporter of America. No, they're not supporting America. They're only using that narrative as a cudgel to beat down people that actually support. Notice what he said, which you don't read. You're not a reader like Joe sitting there in his Barco lounger.
We read Shakespeare here on the Don Giordano program.
Exactly. Come on now. We just did a speaker series with a book. When's Joe done anything like that? God, and it's a murder's row in the morning. But the Reverend Al Sharpton is part of the. You know the reference, the Algonquin Club. Was all these? I'd like to do our Knights of the Round Table, Dan. Some of the regular callers. I think I would match Joe of Exton against Joe of Scarborough.
Yeah, Joe Scarborough.
Yeah, you'd have to spot him a couple of touchdowns. Joe of Exton. The Earl of Tacony, Robert of Bensalem.
Oh, it'd be great.
Oh, yeah, against Mika. Let's see Mika make a call like that. Handle tough things while putting nails in a roof.
Hello,
I don't
Joe
think so.
Scarborough.
All right, let's go to John in
and on
Wild.
Fox News, I'll just say it on Fox News. They didn't want to show Donald Trump in trial. So they got 3 protests and said, protests shut down America.
Can you imagine if this guy and Mika were stuck in traffic on the bridge for 15 minutes? He got out. You know who I am.
Help us, Jesus.
Let's go to John in Wildwood, New Jersey. Hey, John, welcome in.
Hey, Dom. I think that you're giving this guy more listeners than he had live when he did this.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that. It's kind of hilarious to listen to. And it's funny, these people are losing their minds now because Trump's actually getting through to people, and they don't realize, like he said, they're not covering the trial. No, you guys cover the trial. You haven't done it. Like in 2016, you thought he was a joke, so you gave him all this free publicity. And you're doing the same thing now. So,
in fact, John, they were at him at the Trump state in Florida, according to news reports, trying to glom onto him until Trump made remarks about Mika's alleged surgeries, and that stopped it.
Yeah. Well, they were all his friends until, he switched parties or ran as a Republican. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Can I ask you, you just said that Trump's going to be in Wildwood. It's the first time hearing this. Do you have any particulars on that of where or when and all that?
Yeah. As far as we know, this is the plan for now. And tomorrow we're going to have the people on when they're able to actually, for some reason, tell us. But it's apparently going to be on Lincoln Avenue, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday, May 11th.
Fantastic. I'm definitely going to be there. This is going to be great. So anyway, thank you for letting me come on. I just thought, shame on you, Dom, for giving this guy more of an audience than he has in real life.
Country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better.
Is the country better? Somebody call and tell us and say, you people have lost your mind. What do you want to go back to? No indoor plumbing? Look at the literacy rates. Look at the healthcare rate. Look at what Joe Biden has done. Look at the infrastructure. They don't get it again. People are not basing this on is America better now than just some random number of material goods. Even then, is America better, Joe, that people are just unable to afford basic groceries because of this clown? Is that a better America? See, it doesn't affect you to any large degree. You're insulated from it. How would you know? And what do you think would happen if you try to engage some of these ordinary traditional Americans? Do a focus group with them, Joe. Mock them and see what it's like. Yeah, Dan.
Do you think his viewers actually believe this little tidbit that we kind of glossed past?
Its economy stronger and more powerful than ever before. So what do?
Do you think they believe that?
Yeah, I think some of them do believe that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like even with this rampant inflation that we're seeing, that.
Well, they're not associated. He's trying to disassociate that. He's trying to say the economy, the macro, and the average person listening now says, I don't care about the macro. I care about what I can buy, what I can do. More importantly, what I care about, what my kids in the future will be able to do. I care because of this little creep in the White House that people can't get into that first home. That's the American dream. That's the better America. They can't because the Fed is not going to lower those interest rates. The stock market's gone wild the last week now, down because of this. And who caused it? He did, listening to all these puff shirt historians and the Morning Joes of the world. Look, I always say, smart people, I may differ with them ideologically. Nancy Pelosi's a dope. Joe Biden's a dope. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, Bill Clinton are not. You may differ with them ideologically. Joe Biden's, Joe Scarborough is a dope. And he's the worst kind. He doesn't recognize it. He's such a bubble of glad-handers there. They need like 8 people around a table every day. Dan the Booker must be jumping out a window just to get through the show.
It's more of a moderator than a host.
Yeah, that's right. Tell me, John Meacham, what do you say about it?
Exactly.
Michael Beschloss, weigh in.
When he gets the platform to actually say anything, it turns into something like this.
Yeah, Mika was out.
Jesus! The country ain't the country I was raised in.
I wonder how many writers had to prepare that. I wonder if Joy Reid would agree with that. I get the ladies on The View think this too. They think America's great right now because look at how it's going for them and their bubble of friends and circles and their ideology. They don't want traditional America.
My question is, how does that district go from Joe Scarborough to Matt Gaetz?
Yeah. Well, he was an alleged conservative then on paper.
Yeah.
Scarborough Company. When he first started, it was a conservative show they put on, allegedly. That's when I was filling in for him. It was billed. It was mostly conservative. Then when he came back the second time to talk radio with Mika, it was not. All right, let's go to John in Roxborough and Talk Radio 1210. Hey, John, welcome in.
What do you say, Dom? Listen, I got a little rebuttal for Mr. Scumbarrow. This guy sits in a condo in Miami. He can't go to New York because he's got problems in New York, and he don't think that the people understand all this. I don't get it.
No, well, without a doubt, this is the last refuge. It's the same thing we've heard since 2016. Thank you, John. And it's to attack traditional America that is supportive of Trump.
They are obsessed.
855-839. Yeah, Jim reminds me, and I've actually had bet some people, and they didn't believe it. They looked it up. What noted liberal, even somebody who listens that's a family member, Dan, used to fill in for Rush during this time slot.
I looked at the board. No way he did. Really?
Chris Matthews.
Wow.
If you Google it, now I don't know how many times he did. I know it was a few. So was Rush off his rocker then? Or was it that Chris Matthews was seen as a liberal moderate? You know what I mean?
I think when I first started here doing the Rush show,
yeah,
he filled in once or twice.
Yeah, he did. I know that he did it. He was a fill-in on the Rush Limbaugh show of all conservative talk radio shows. Katie Couric yesterday, another dope. We played you with Bill Maher. MAGA being driven by anti-intellectualism. Can you imagine? You know, it's one thing if you're really smart and you say this. It's still despicable. But when you're a dope, how do you get to Katie Couric is going to look down? Joe Scarborough? Man, wait till Mika gets back. Big trouble. Okay, coming up, a real smart guy, Andy McCarthy, former federal prosecutor, now at Fox News. He's got something that could come out of this that's not an acquittal, but would be a minor matter. And everybody's touting him. He's the first one to come up with it, the Trump trial I'm talking about. And I'll ask him about jury selection, particularly in a case like big-time case like this. Andy McCarthy next with Dom. Hey, if you're dealing with inflammation or stiff joints, then Glyco Plus from Rescue Natural Supplements can be your ticket to a healthier spring. Glyco Plus features a unique blend of green lip muscle complex, UC2 collagen, specifically designed to support joint health. Collagen, a vital component of joint cartilage, plays a crucial role in maintaining strength and flexibility. And right now, Rescue Glyco Plus is buy one, get one free for anyone with our exclusive radio code. Just use the code RELIEF. Double up your order for free. Again, that's RELIEF. Call him today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. You'll speak to a knowledgeable rescue product consultant. You can also use the code online when you visit res-q.com. res-q.com. Get back into action with less pain, more comfort. Again, use that code RELIEF. Buy one, get one free on Rescue Glyco Plus.
Weather sponsored by Bounce Back Physical Therapy.
It will be a very pleasant day today with plenty of sunshine. High temperatures still well above average at 74. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low 54. And for Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies return. Chance for some showers, especially during the afternoon. High 64.
If you suffer from chronic body pain, call Bounce Back Physical Therapy in Wayne, PA. Their team of licensed physical therapists create personalized therapy plans to get you feeling better in as few as 3 visits. Visit bouncebackpt.com and schedule an appointment today.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-514-1026. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-514-1026 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-514-1026 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-514-1026.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Are you dealing with hard water, dry skin, and dull hair? Let Martin Water Conditioning help for a limited time. Receive up to $500 off when purchasing a Kinetico water system. Visit martinwater.com or call 1-800-853-1093 today to learn more. Martin Water Conditioning, your trusted source for clean, soft water. Offer expires April 22nd. Offers cannot be combined or applied to prior sales.
Pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, or back that won't go away? Check out QC Kinetics. No surgery, drugs, or downtime. QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Tom Giordano Show. We should be joined momentarily by Andy McCarthy here to break down both jury selection And also what Andy has said, even cited yesterday by Greg Jarrett, that nobody else saw in this as an opportunity as this goes on to basically erase what we see set up, this Rube Goldberg set up by the prosecutor in New York. Let's go to Andy McCarthy on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Andy, welcome in.
Don, great to be with you.
Andy, jury selection in something like this. Did you ever have a jury, say the blind shake, when you were doing that, where you had this number of people? Is this unusual? There were like 500 or so to start?
No, Dom, it's in a big case like this, the number of people that you bring in at the start is kind of limited by what your courtroom space is. And their expectation, of course, is that they're going to, a majority of the people in, let's say, groups of 100 are going to not qualify to serve for one reason or another. So it's a long, tedious process. You go through hundreds of people. I think in the blind shake case, we went through thousands of jurors. It took us a month to get a jury. I don't think it'll take quite that long in this case, but you would remember. I'm trying to think of what the last. There's a recent case where it took a long time to pick a jury. Probably won't be as long as this. I'll just say that my understanding is the judge is not going to sit Wednesdays. Next week we have Jewish holidays on Monday and Tuesday, which means they're going to work a short day or a no day. So you're talking about like 4 days this week, 2 days next week. It starts to pile up. And what I'm hearing is like maybe not till the beginning of May where we actually get to, jury arguments and evidence.
Wow. So give us a sense of what you'd be looking for, Andy, based upon your experience. Did you have somebody, an analyst, looking at the jury, or is it a decision you made when you were prosecuting?
Yeah, I never believed in that. I'm probably silly to feel this way, but I felt had good experienced litigation teams when I was in the Southern District of New York trying cases, and we thought our collective judgment would be fine. I never went in much for the this idea of jury selection specialists and that sort of thing. I've had very, very good juries, and I've gotten burned by, picking a couple of bad jurors. So, it's a crapshoot.
Well, in this, you would think the odds are there could be somebody vaguely in favor of Trump that might slip by, and there are going to be several people who are going to say they don't care one way or the other, but deep down they have an agenda. Maybe they want to be famous. Maybe they want to write a book about it.
Yeah, well, you're hitting on the thing that litigators, at least savvy ones, worry about the most. You don't worry about the people who come in and say, I can't be fair, because that's what you want to hear. If they can't be, you want them to tell you that. And you don't worry about the people who are trying to get out of jury service, because you don't want those people on a jury like this one. The thing that you worry about are the people who will lie to get on the jury because they think this is, super case where at the end of it, they're going to be media stars. And that's the kind of thing that I'd be concerned about. But, it's a very extensive process. They have to fill out a pretty lengthy questionnaire, and then they get interviewed by the lawyers and the court. So it's always possible for someone to slip through. It happens from time to time, but it's a pretty extensive process to prevent against that.
Before we get to your big nugget here, Andy, I just tell you, I don't know about you, you would get rejected. Dan, you don't notice, do you? I once got rejected by the prosecution, the defense attorney, and the judge to be on a jury.
Not you.
Oh my God. And
did they at least give you a Mr. Congeniality award or something?
I didn't do it. Well, part of the question on there, Andy, in Philadelphia, they have, I don't know about New York or federally, I think it was question 9, and it said something about, would you give more weight to a cop's testimony than others? Something like that, less,
right,
or just neutral. And I knew yes. I answered honestly. The judge didn't like it. He said, I told you about this before, which he did not. And I said that. I was getting close to contempt. And the reason I said, Your Honor, he's the one that somebody checks up on. He's the one that has people supervising him. These other witnesses, I don't know if anybody's supervising them.
Yeah, well, look, I agree with that. Look, you can have dishonest cops too, but cops are professional observers, which the normal witness is not. So they're taking note of the things they see in a way that's different from the average person. And I would just point, on this point, the Supreme Court, when it talks about how the standard for getting a warrant is probable cause, Chief Justice Rehnquist would point out that it's the totality of the circumstances as seen through the eyes of an experienced police officer.
Exactly.
Which is very different from the totality of the circumstances as seen by Dom or Andy. It's a different, they're in a different business.
I think they wouldn't want you on the court because they'd be afraid, here's some decent lawyer and Andy McCarthy's sitting on the jury. Oh man, just picking apart.
I can't blame them for that. No one in my family would want me on the jury, and I never wanted a lawyer on the jury. So
yeah, I can understand why.
I'm sympathetic to that.
So Andy, way ahead of the curve, and Greg Jarrett brought this up himself yesterday when he was on. You talked about, in your own words, I guess, that there could be a misdemeanor here. Trump could admit to that. Statute of limitations has run out. I'm not sure politically how that plays out, but tell us what you're thinking he could do, his attorneys could say to do.
Yeah, well, first of all, Dom, he doesn't have to admit to anything. And I think he still has a very good defense, which, we haven't focused too much on the charges yet, but they not only have to prove that he put in, that there's inaccurate information in the bookkeeping, but that he did it with a fraudulent purpose. So much like the civil case in New York, we're again looking at a case of fraud where there's no fraud victims. Like there's nobody. Think about this. Given the terrible charges that were brought here, if Alvin Bragg thought he actually had a fraud case or a tax evasion case, don't you think he would have tripped over himself to charge that?
Exactly.
But of course he didn't because he doesn't have that kind. So he's got to prove fraudulent intent here, and I think he's going to have a hard time doing that. I'm not saying that Trump has to admit to the misdemeanor. What I'm saying is that under New York law, he's entitled to ask the court to give what's known as a lesser included offense charge, which means if the evidence is capable of being interpreted as he may have committed the misdemeanor but not the felony, then that theory has to be presented to the jury. That doesn't mean Trump has to admit to it. They just have to have the option of convicting him on the misdemeanor rather than the felony. And the reason I think it would be very smart to do that is if the jury is a New York jury that, like, let's just, go with the caricature and say they just hate Trump and they have to convict him of something. If they convict him on the misdemeanor, the case has to get thrown out because the misdemeanor was time barred by 2019, maybe by 2020, but there's no doubt the statute of limitations is run on that.
That's a great insight. I agree. And the jury could say, that's a compromise. We did convict him. That's all that we could do. Andy, one other area with this, New Yorkers particularly, Michael Cohen is on record, serial liar, right, in court, et cetera, et cetera. But, I know reasonably saying what you were doing, you sometimes have to put bad people up there and turn them to turn against somebody else. Right. So I don't think they'll necessarily discount Cohen on that ground, but they might discount him in that he's not a sympathetic figure at all. Not so much just a liar, but you know what I mean? He's an easy figure, I think, to get the jury to not like him at all.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, when we would put, look, I've always said that, you could put the worst people in the world on the stand. I've even put Philly fans on the stand, Tom. So, I mean, but the question always is, can you corroborate their testimony? Like, how does their testimony stand up against everything else you think you know? But when we would put terrible people on the stand, we would normally have them also admit their own wrongdoing. So, for example, Cohen, just a couple of weeks ago, a federal judge said he committed perjury by his own account in his guilty plea. when he pled under oath to tax evasion, and now he says he wasn't guilty of it. And they asked him at his, I think Helena Hava asked him at his, in his civil trial testimony. So what you're saying is you committed perjury when you pled guilty, and he admitted to that. And a federal judge 2 weeks ago said he either committed perjury at that trial or at his plea, one or the other, or maybe even both. So it's one thing to say a person has a background with a lot of lying. It's quite another thing to say, he's come to terms with what he did and admitted to it. And Cohen doesn't admit to anything in his life other than that he says he committed campaign finance crimes, which I don't think he actually committed, but he's saying that because it makes it more likely that you can get Trump convicted. So, I think everything, he's a convicted he's not just a convicted felon, he's a convicted perjurer who the last time we heard from him was basically committing perjury about his prior perjury. So, it's going to be a little hard for a jury to wrap their brains around. And I would just point out to people that this case started in my old office, the Southern District of New York.
Yeah.
And they opted not to bring a case against Trump. And undoubtedly, one of the reasons that they opted not to bring the case was because their main witness would have been Michael Cohen. And you don't want to go to court when your main witness is Michael Cohen.
Absolutely. So, Andy, though, hard to predict, though. But what about the argument? Look, this jury, it's a blue city. They're out to get Trump. So they don't care all the stuff that you and I talked about, all the nuance of this, how bad Cohen is. They just want to know when they can vote to say, yeah, convict him.
Well, I think that is a kind of an overplayed narrative. And look, I have a prejudice here because I liked New York juries. Now, in federal court, we were drawing our juries from Manhattan, the Bronx, and Westchester, not just Manhattan. But still, I liked those juries. I thought they had a lot of common sense. And I would just say two things. Number one, don't judge New York on the basis of who gets elected, like Alvin Bragg and some of these crazy judges. The people who vote in elections in Manhattan for those kind of positions are vanishingly small in number. I think 80,000 people voted in the DA's election when Bragg was elected. There's over 2 million people in Manhattan, and a lot of them are just ordinary working people. And the big thing in Manhattan right now is that we have a lot of crime that Bragg won't prosecute. And I think a normal Manhattan person is going to listen to this case and wonder, why are we in court on this case when we have like real crime in the city that this guy won't prosecute? So that's one thing. And then the other thing I'd say, Dom, is remember that Bragg needs 12. Trump only needs 1. Because if he gets a mistrial here, that's a major win for him. The thought that they would like try to do this, dog's breakfast of a case a second time is highly unlikely, particularly given that he's got a whole bunch of other legal matters. So if he can get a hung jury here, or he can get a conviction on a misdemeanor that gets thrown out, I think that's a big win for him. But, yes, the city is tilted against Trump politically, and that's probably going to help Bragg, but Bragg needs 12 and Trump only needs 1.
Well put. When do we see you on Fox today, Andy?
I think I'm with Liz McDonald on the Business Channel later today, and then with Neil Cavuto tomorrow, and we'll see what else is happening.
All right, Andy, thank you. Thanks as always.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, Andy McCarthy there. Dan's still working on being knocked off by all three parties.
I love that you, what was the reasoning? It's because the cop thing? It's not because you were a bloviator on conservative radio?
And that too,
okay.
Because I went to law school. They knew that. I had to put
respect.
that down. All the cops in the family, prosecutor in the family.
Have you served on a jury?
No, I've never served on a jury. But then when I answered that question, Dan, I'm in a balcony like Mussolini, and the judge is down here for some reason, and he's hollering stuff up at me, and I'm hollering down from the balcony. And the guy was my friend who told me.
Did he slowly stand from the bench and give you a slow thumbs down like Gladiator?
He had the hammer like this. And the guy who was my friend that I knew from South Philly was going in the corner like this. And I answered it honestly. That was my defense. Yes, as Andy McCarthy just said, I would put more faith in what a cop said. Yes, I'm not going to lie. Why wouldn't I?
The hammering.
Yes, there's that too. All right, 855-839-1210. So Andy McCarthy, I would characterize it here, sees a lot of opportunity for Trump. It is going to tie him up for 6 or 7 weeks. But to Dan's point yesterday, it's the center of attention too, where he comes out periodically, makes statements. And again, if he walks on this, going to be another chance to say they just came after me and they missed. Now on to the general election. All right, the NBA play-in tournament gives teams the chance to play their way into the postseason. So it only seems right that new customers on FanDuel can play their way into $150. You just place any $5 bet, you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. I like the Sixers tomorrow night. I really do. Fingers crossed. I'm telling you, go with that. I like Embiid to do pretty well tomorrow night. Just go to FanDuel.com/Dom to get started. That's FanDuel.com/DOM. Make every moment more with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, official sports betting partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Bev. My husband Bill is living with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a type of interstitial lung disease that can scar your lungs and make it hard to breathe. ILD can be hard to diagnose. If you're out of breath with a constant dry cough, ask a pulmonologist if it could be ILD. Bill and I have been married for over 60 years, and we're looking forward to more. If you or someone you love may have ILD, find support, hope, and help at lungsandyou.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Homeowners, improve your family's comfort with a Bradford white water heater and enjoy all the hot water your household needs all day, every day. With Bradford White, you get more than just a water heater. You get our commitment to quality and reliability that you can trust. How you heat your water matters, so don't compromise when it comes to your home or your hot water. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best because your home deserves it. Visit BradfordWhite.com to learn more and find an installation pro near you.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchuk, PNC Bank Regional President. PNC Bank, we're committed to making a difference in the lives of our customers and communities by helping them move forward financially. As a Main Street bank, we try to do right by our customers with every encounter. Our local teams offer personalized financial advice to help guide you in making the best decision. We're proud to be part of the Philadelphia, Delaware, and Southern New Jersey communities. PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference for you at PNC.com. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Do you have shoeboxes full of photos? Today only, radio listeners get VIP access to the new Photo Legacy Box. Get your family's photos professionally scanned for as low as 7 cents, which is 76% less than what other brands charge. As the world's largest digitizer, you know you can trust Legacy Box to digitize your entire collection of 4x6 photos. Everything from the embarrassing haircut you had in the 90s to photos of your great-grandma's wedding. Visit legacybox.com/value to get 200 photos scanned starting at just $19.95. Oh, and don't forget, Legacy Box also digitizes over 15 other types of analog media, so you can get your favorite memories on VHS or grandpa's film reels from the 40s digitized too. Take advantage of this exclusive offer on the new Photo Legacy Box today and preserve your past for as low as 7 cents. Go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hey, Philly. Jason Kelsey here. Even though I won't be playing on Sundays anymore, you can still find me at Lincoln Financial Field on Saturday, May 18th for the Eagles Autism Challenge, presented by Lincoln Financial Group. This event raises millions of dollars to support autism research and care and gives you the chance to walk, run, or ride your bike beside your favorite Eagles players. Together, we can transform the lives of individuals affected by autism. Register today at eaglesautismchallenge.org, and I'll see you there.
So many financial firms claim to be fiduciaries, but do any of them provide legally binding documentation to put your best interests first? Crash Proof Retirement is the only firm in the nation that records all financial meetings, making your meeting legally binding.
Lou Marinucci, Langhorne, Pennsylvania. When the market goes down and then Wall Street still makes money, they're looking out for themselves more than they're looking out for you as the client. It's not a fiduciary responsibility. I don't have that problem here with Crash Proof Retirement. Crash Proof Retirement can assure their customers that they will come out on the positive side because by recording their meetings, it makes them legally bound to do exactly what they say. And that's what a fiduciary is supposed to do.
Learn why recording financial meetings guarantees peace of mind. Register for one of the Crash Proof events on May 15th at the Washington Crossing Inn. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
Where I don't want to be.
All right, Dom Giordano's show. So Will Bunch himself, Dan, at the Philadelphia Inquirer, will spend some time in the next hour. I particularly want to hear from females. The Caitlin Clark story, he sees it, classic case of pay inequity. I'll tell you coming up how much she'll be making each year, how much she made in Iowa, though, and why that's the case, even though she'll help everybody else. I mean, I watched the WNBA draft last night, a few minutes of it. I know you're not supposed to say that. Oh, my God, how could you watch that? I just wanted to see a few different players. And if they get a WNBA team here, Luke and I will go and watch them. So I appreciate what they can do. But it's not rare versus men versus what NBA players can do. NBA players, it's like you're looking at a different universe. That, and who said this on Twitter? Whatever we think of mail-in votes is mute. Well, it should be moot, but it's mute. That's how he said it. At this point, it's some Pennsylvania politician you will not believe is on board with me on the mail-in ballot. I don't think he'll come back on the show to join arms in that, but guess who it is? We'll have that in a big 1 o'clock hour coming up. Talk Radio 1210.
Hi, everyone. Stephanie here from Emmons. You know, a great way to spring out of those winter blues is by upgrading the favorite place in your home, your bathroom. Emmons will give you an affordable, modest bathroom refresh with synthetic stone surrounds in as little as 1 day. That's right, 1 day. And Emmons will include interior design consultations at no cost to you. This is an easy way to spruce up your bathroom without having to break the bank. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or check out our website at callemmons.com.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies, and we can probably help you too. Call us today at 800-411-8300 or visit coventrydirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-411-8300. Call now.
This is Norman Chaikin, also known as Norman the Floorman. You know, I lost my first wife when she fell down a wishing well. Hey, I didn't know they worked. Whether you need carpet, LVT, hardwood, tile, or area rugs for your residential or commercial project, we've got you covered. Savings up to 50%, and that ain't chopped liver. Visit us in Bryn Mawr, Conshohocken, or call us at 800-220-RUGS for your home or business, and we'll bring the store to your door.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Isn't it time to invest in yourself? Well, how about this? Start a PI Dental Center with decades of experience in complex dental treatment, and I've been a patient in PI Dental for 20 years. Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, they're board-certified prosthodontists. They specialize in the restoration and replacement of teeth, and PI Dental Center are the originators of the teeth in a day. It's a revolutionary treatment that delivers fixed teeth and implants placed for a dramatic transformation in a mere one day. So visit PIDentalCenter.com. That's PIDentalCenter.com to request your new patient evaluation.
When you look at your kids or grandkids, you can't help but wonder. You wonder what their world will be like in 20 years. Then you think about yourself. What will your life be like when you step away from work and into retirement? There are a lot of things you can't control, but with the right planning, there are some things you can. At Spectrum Wealth Partners, our Portfolio X-Ray is designed to show you how you're doing so far and what your monthly income will look like in the future. In other words, they can take you from wondering to knowing. So take control of your financial future. Call today for a complimentary evaluation. 856-322-8686 or at spectrumwp.com. And tune into The Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 3 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Advisory services offered through Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Concurrent Investment Advisors, LLC, and Spectrum Wealth Partners are not affiliated companies.
If you want jazz music, go to New Orleans. Bagels, New York. And for psychics, think California Psychics. You want the best, you go to the best. At California Psychics, home of free spirits and open minds, we know better than anyone what makes a good psychic. That's why we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Okay, guys, we got to put our trays up for takeoff.
Where's Dad?
Oh, he's in the back. We could only get 3 seats together.
Daddy has my pillow.
We'll get it later. Can you not put your feet up, please?
Why aren't we going?
We must be in line for takeoff.
Like security?
Well, that was a different line.
I have to go.
We just sat down.
But I have to go.
The seatbelt sign's on.
Why aren't we moving?
Hey, no picking.
We're just 15th in line for takeoff.
Son of a...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
It is Dom time. Good Tuesday. All right. Our eye on the trial. Not much news. Dozens and dozens of prospective jurors are out. We're cutting down on the numbers. I'm not sure if anyone has been tapped in yet. But Caitlin Clark last night was the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. We've been through this a lot. Why Clark put women's basketball on the map. There were any number of reasons. By the way, the outfit she had last night, I even read, was $17,000 from Prada.
Wow.
I don't think it looks so great. Get another fashion designer. It wasn't, I don't know. It was kind of, no offense to her, Dan. It's the outfit, 17 grand. Give us a break here. Anyhow.
A lot of money.
Anyhow, Will Bunch and others, there's a whole quack of them that just could not wait for this, are bringing up the issue of the pay gender gap again. And it's interesting, not just men versus women. You hear this all the time. Not too many people say it about an actor. We usually center in on athletes, okay? I think I could make the case based upon a capitalist system, which I am. Athletes are not being paid enough. I think Devontae Smith, the Eagles wide receiver, only got $25 million a year. If we didn't have salary caps and other things, who knows what he could get? I'd rather see that. So I don't begrudge athletes other than when they're whiners and, not really going all out. So Clark, Will Bunch says, and he's right, is going to make 76,535 in her rookie season. I think somewhat like that. The second season, the third season, 80. Playing for the WNBA. I'm not sure if there's a fourth. That's a little bit up in the air. And he says, just think about what she's done. And he compares her to the Pennsylvania lawmakers who on average make more than $106,000. Well, true. Caitlin Clark is much more valuable to society than those guys are by and large. We could be in agreement on that. So why is she only paid that number? Well, the answer is the league does that somewhat. You know, they have their own salary system, but also because the public does not want to watch WNBA basketball. They just don't, unless you're a real basketball fan. Now, will they watch with Caitlin Clark? Even that will happen for a while, I think, but I think it'll be limited, Dan. I don't think long term, suddenly, women's basketball is going to be on the level of any of the four major sports or even soccer. And there's no intent here. Now, she made about $3.5 million last year because college athletes now, if their likeness is used, it's a whole in the weed stuff. They get paid for that. So there are literally hundreds of college athletes now, not just basketball or football, that are making $100,000 a year plus. And I don't begrudge him. I'm fair with that. She made a lot more last year than she's going to make, but she'll get endorsements, of course.
I mean, if we take it to our own industry, right?
Yes.
Sports radio, huge. WIP,
Right.
the top station in the market. I think
Right.
it's expected that a sports radio host would make more than a conservative radio host because they are regularly among the numbers of the best numbers ratings-wise. They draw the most, advertising dollars, that kind of thing. I think it's similar with Caitlin Clark. Like you're looking at attendance throughout WNBA. The highest average attendance for a WNBA team was the Las Vegas Aces at 9,551.
Wow.
So you're talking about what, a third of an arena is being filled up for a WNBA game at the most or the highest attended games. So
Right.
I think it's supply and demand in that way that if you're only able to sell that many tickets live to these, who's to say that these should be getting paid as much as people who are able to sell out these arenas regularly?
Yeah, and then you get into the reason. So Will Bunch does, I don't know, Dan. When we get Will Bunch on, I like him on a personal level, as you know. If we started arguing this, though, it would get crazy.
Yeah.
So it may not. And the answer, why is that then, would be the next question. Why are not more people going to their games? Well, it's a free country. My theory is they're not going to their games because when I watch women, I could see men at a high school level play the game in a pretty much similar manner. When you watch the NBA, you're not seeing anybody play like that other than maybe a couple hundred people at any one time in the entire world. That's the reason why. It's boring versus watching NBA skill players. Caitlin Clark just has to be unique because of the distance she's shooting the ball, because of the story out of nowhere, etc. Others want to claim it's just because she's white. And she will drive people to it a bit, but it's not going to be enough to bump up their salaries. And it's part-time. They don't play that many games. What do they play? 20, 25, 30 games in that range per year. So how are you going to be paid to do that? They're subsidized by the NBA. If they weren't, they would fail. Well, don't they put a lot of female products on their soaps and stuff like this stereotypically? Yeah. But because they don't draw anything as far as people watching, they don't make that much. Isn't this really capitalism? Or is it pay inequality? Now, there is still pay inequality, Dan. I don't doubt that in certain businesses, certain things here and there, where people are doing roughly the same job and maybe some woman somewhere is being underpaid versus men. There's no doubt. But as a widespread thing, that's not happening. And this is not a good example at all. All right, phone lines.
Maybe we should look at it from the other direction. Yeah. Men are getting paid too much.
Well, no, I
You
don't
think
believe
so?
that.
No,
Why-
like
why would
40
it-
million a year? I mean, is that really necessary?
You know what? I challenge anybody. Line up the whole board here. What do you mean? Is it
So I would ask you, are you okay with that if we were to base it on percentage of attendance, like or something like that? If we found some kind of number to quantify it, paying women $20 million a year. Because so looking up the numbers, I'm sorry, a little context here. Average attendance for an NBA game is around 18,000, and I said for WNBA it was around 9,000, so about half, not a third.
Right. They make the point too, and I'm just going to address that Will Bunch says she got more viewers to that one game, 18 million, than you get for the World Series or NBA Finals. I'm not sure about that, but let's say he's right, Dan. The answer to that is it's a one-off, one-time thing. And the answer to your question, I don't think anybody's overpaid because I believe in the market. If you don't want to pay, now, do I think Tobias Harris, who sucks, and I can, it's not a sports show, but I mean, I can't even look at the man. He's a nice guy. But is he overpaid? Yes, in a basketball sense. If somebody's willing to pay you it, though, why do we resent it? No, nobody's being overpaid. Rose says that all the time. It's my standard joke when we get, and she does say it. Put out the trash. She only talked 3 hours a day. And she says you and I are not in show business. There's no singing, no dancing. So we're going to have to add a little bit of that to meet that we're in show business. All right, 855-839-1210. Is anybody overpaid? And you can say, well, why are teachers, for example, or you can name anybody that they're not paid more. And the answer is there's a million of them, at least societally, we believe that. With teachers, they had to go for merit pay. They would be paid more.
You don't think it's wrong, though, that like a basketball player is making 400 times the amount of a police officer?
Wrong in what sense?
Just societally, culturally.
I try to avoid, I just look at it wherever the demand. I mean, I like a capitalist society. It doesn't mean it's moral. I get your point. Like, who should be paid the most? And we'd probably all agree it should be military,
conservative radio hosts.
Conservative. I was going to make that third. Conservative, hardworking conservative radio hosts. Fourth, hardworking conservative radio hosts, producers. They ought to be right there in the top 5. Well, whoever the best brain surgeon in the world is, I might start with. Deference to Roe, pre-K teachers, at the very beginning. 855-839-1210. So why is Caitlin Clark only going to make $76,000 next year? And I gave you some of the reasons. I mean, how are we going to force men, principally, and or women to watch WNBA basketball? Physically, it will never happen. They just cannot do the things that the greatest NBA players can do. That's the reason. I mean, it's intriguing to me because I'm a basketball fanatic. And Caitlin Clark is special because of the range of her shot and the stuff she does. But after that, what's Caitlin Clark really?
Just comparing that salary, the $76,000, to the rest of society, I think that's a fair salary as a base because you start with that, and then Caitlin, she's going to get the $76,000, but then she's going to get endorsement after endorsement.
Yeah, she'll get first few years, she'll get a couple million.
Yeah,
and she was getting, just using her likeness, was over $3 million at Iowa. She was better off because it's a story too, and it's a short-lived story. All right, so to Dan's point, Dan, give me a few people that you think are overpaid in some kind of way, however you want to frame it, just for this argument.
Well, I just think of athletes.
Athletes.
As the number one.
All right. Are athletes overpaid? Tell me if you think they are. I don't. I just see it as a market-based. You could say the society is sick. Why do we play them at? And they give us a lot of joy. They give us a lot of things. Now, if you're not into sports, I can understand you are. I'll admit it, I am. And without the Phillies and Sixers, oh, my God. Imagine a world without the Philadelphia Eagles. Just imagine in Philadelphia, Dan. All you have is soccer, no Philadelphia Eagles. Oh, my God. Or WNBA or women's soccer you can watch tonight. No Eagles. That's it. We've taken Eagles away. Dan Borowski said they were getting paid too much. A Borowski rule. No.
Pharmaceutical executives.
Okay. Too much?
Oh, too much. Yeah. I think executives in most industries pay too much. I hate to agree with Joe. I hate to agree with Joe Biden there. But
Greg Stocker should be calling in on that. Overpaid radio executives. All right.
Hey, I did say well.
Yeah, you said most executives. Okay. I teased right before the end of the hour. Who said this on Twitter just recently? whatever we think of mail-in votes is moot at this point. If we want to win state and federal elections, then we will need to likewise use mail-in ballots. Order yours soon. Time is running out. That was said by, not President Trump, but in Pennsylvania, was said by Doug Mastriano. Now, if Doug Mastriano recommends that, I don't think we'd get him back on the show. We had a little falling out there, if you remember. But, well, Dan, it really wasn't on my show. I went on another show, Delmarva or something. I heard it there, and that was it.
I think he's been on since then. Eh?
No, not after the
Really?
Delmarva thing.
No?
That was it. His guy didn't like that. So, yeah.
I remember
But I'm
that.
commending him. So if Doug Mastriano says this, why can't Donald Trump? If Doug Mastriano, who was at the January 6th situation, Doug, who led the charge here about election violations, right? If Doug Mastriano gets this point, what's it going to take to get President Trump to say it? Surely he can pivot. His people don't care if he pivots and says it now. Just do it. He's not, though. What in the world is going on in his mind? Are you one of those that goes, well, Dom, he won the presidency, you didn't? So he's trying to drive people to show up on election day. Well, wait a minute. Can't we do both at the same time? Can't we drive people to show up on election day? But you get the logic of banking your votes now and who we're going after. And if Trump really is about winning, which I think he has been his whole life, and you know that's what I'm about, what do you do in this situation? Think about this. Trump could find a way to say the position he did on abortion, which is exactly right. Why can't he say it on mail-in ballots? Does he still like the idea to say that if things go badly in this, it was robbed or something? I mean, it's about winning now. Doug Mastriano tweeted that out.
He's a guy that stands really strongly by his mores for no other reason, I think, than because of his pride.
Yes.
Do you think it's a sense of pride thing that he, for so long, had the stance of anti-mail-in balloting that he just can't embrace it now and think that he can pull it off? Or
that's interesting. I think that's what it's got to be, because strategically, this is not winning. This is insanity. Every time we push the ball forward, he gets up there rambling at an event and he starts running down mail-in balloting again. And who are people going to follow? What I say or what Trump says? What Trump says. Yeah. What Laura Trump says? What Scott Presler says? Or Trump says? What Trump says. All right, let's go to Chris in Holland here. And Chris, you're on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Chris, good afternoon.
Hi, Dom.
Hi.
Yeah, when I hear you and everybody else, Mastriano, say the Republicans need to start doing mail-in balloting like the Democrats, I'm hearing that we need to cheat, because to me, that's what the mail-in ballots are. That's why I think people like Trump want to get rid of them, because it's not about fairness. It's not about the Republicans catching up. It would be about the Republicans having to come up with fake mail-in ballots, because that's seemingly what's going on. There's more mail-in ballots than there are voters. And that's where, if you're recommending that Republicans enter into that game, I don't see too much difference between us and Democrats. I don't want to cheat to win. I want a fair vote.
Nobody's talking about cheating, Chris. So
I know, but that's what the Democrats are doing with the mail-in ballots. They're finding tons of them, the 2,000 mules and all that. Like the mail-in ballots are just coming in like crazy, and they're not attached to real voters.
Well, there's some of that. There's enough of that. And that's the other leg of this. The other leg of it is election integrity. So we should let the Democrats do this. We're trying to stop them on that. But we should let them do it, but we're not going to engage in it.
Well, I understand your point, but the fact of the matter is that if we just do it legit, and they're doing it and cheating, then we're not going to make up any ground anyway. So I think the play has to be for everybody to get on board with trying to go back to in-person voting. That's really the only way to be fair.
Okay, and I would tell you, I don't care about any of this. I want to win, Chris. You don't want to win. You refuse to accept. You are going to lose. Right now, I'm telling you right now, we will lose Pennsylvania. So are you okay with that?
No, I'm not okay with that. And I think you should probably push the mail-in balloting. But if you're not willing to cheat, and I'm not willing to cheat, I don't really think it's going to make too much difference. It isn't that I want to lose. It's that I want to win, and I want to win fairly. I want to win legitimately. And the Democrats don't seem to want to do that. This mail-in balloting that was put forward illegally with the COVID is not legitimate. So when people are saying, we need to
wait a minute.
do what they're doing.
It was put fairly because of a bunch of Republican dopes who passed Act 77. That's what did it.
All right, well, those dopes need to reverse course and, get it back to the way it was and eliminate the cheating.
All right, thank you, Chris. Look, this idea, my goodness. So we're supposed to sit here. Look, there's two prongs to this to answer Chris. All right. One, all out, that we get every vote out there that we can legally. Two, election integrity, that we go after this in every way that we can every single day. Do you want to lose? This is as bad. I feel almost as bad after this as I did yesterday watching these protesters. Nothing gets me crazier than seeing people blocked in traffic. It just gets me beyond belief. Everybody has something that is, it's all wrong. And there's got to be somebody that can do something. Tom Cotton, by the way, under fire. Even Will Bunch wants to know what's going to happen to Tom Cotton, because he said in Arkansas they wouldn't stand for that. People would have been in the drink. All right, so you heard Chris's call. Do you still want to live in that world? And I predict right now, if we do, then it will be a loss. Then that allows us the day after or the night of to say, but at least we didn't cheat. Oh, my goodness. This is Doug Mastriano. It doesn't get more. Somebody who went after electioneering and all the nonsense. Somebody more conservative, somebody who was the nominee who shouldn't have been. And he says, we got to get busy with mail-in balloting. Yet the first caller out of the box, Chris in Holland, Pennsylvania, says it's just about cheating. That's what they're doing, and that's what they're going to do. We have to not have mail-in balloting. Okay, we've been through this. What do you do to do that? You win. Now, it's going to take a lot to go back and get rid of Act 77. I can't help it that Republicans were dopes and voted for it. That's done. Now it's about winning and then fixing things. Are you on board with that? Or do you still just want to grab onto, we're just going to overwhelm him on election day? No, you're not. The other team is out there shooting three-pointers. They're ahead 100 points. You come running out a lot of energy. And in the actual, quarter time left, you beat them by 2 points. They've already banked sitting there. Why is this so difficult? If Trump said it, what would happen? I think the floodgates might open that. And if he doesn't say it, that is a huge mistake. I can't just, everything's going to be fine. You're going to see on election day. And that doesn't mean no one is more vigilant in going after them in places that are suspect beyond belief, like Philadelphia, like Atlanta. Election integrity is the other part of it. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get in right now. Don't forget the side question. Eggs Benedict today. Something that was good that was made better or a lot better.
I like this one from Hasn't Been Sober, Dom.
Yes.
The Dom Show got even better when Dan Time with Dom was added. Improvement upon perfection. Didn't think it was possible.
Yes, that was one of the biggest turning points in the history of this show. Oh, God.
More serious one, though, Hasn't Been Sober. The wheel was made better when they put a tire on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I try to keep it more contemporary if you can. Like I gave cell phone to iPhone. What was yours, Dan?
Man, well, I didn't say this one on air, but I meant to. Everything seasoning on a bagel, making a plain bagel, elevating it into the everything bagel, my breakfast this morning.
There you go. 85.
One more for you, though.
Yeah.
Philadelphia has a point on Twitter. He says, the buffalo chicken dip elevated the party snack game. It could be the most significant invention of the last 25 years.
Oh, my God.
You a big buffalo chicken dip fan?
I wouldn't know a dip. He's a big dipper, Luke. And I never
Really?
got the. Oh, he loves the dipping. I hate
dips
the
are great,
I am
man.
not a dipper. No.
I eat dips with a spoon, like the buffalo chicken dip. There are times. Well, actually, when we make the buffalo chicken dip for football, we'll have some left over. We'll make buffalo chicken enchiladas from the dip. Just wrap it in a tortilla, put some cheese on it, pop it in the oven. It's delicious.
All right. 855-839-1210. Jump in, save me from this, and I need a groundhog advice.
Enchiladas.
The groundhog is back. Another one's back now. We hope we captured him today, but I'll give you an update here with Dom on Talk Radio 1210.
If your child needs support, special tutoring, and custom instruction, METC is here to help. Now's the time to make the call to Kathy Ganna and METC. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages to grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Now's the time to get assistance for your child to help them succeed. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200. That's 215-493-4200.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com. Get ready for spring with njdiet.com.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers, and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices because we need the room for all of our construction vehicles. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krupnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
Runner's knee, golfer's back, hiker's hip.
Any of these feel familiar? At Virtua Orthopedics and Spine, we've got a doc for that.
Baker's wrist, laptop neck, shopper's shoulder.
Yep, we've got a doc for those too. Virtua Orthopedics and Spine has over 60 specialists, 20 PT rehab facilities, and 26 surgical sites all across South Jersey. Find the right specialist for you at virtua.org/ortho.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients. Today, Morgan & Morgan has more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
All right, Tom Giordano show. Welcome in. Boy, I have a real. I like Mike Johnson, but here we go again. People that want to knock him out. It's not just Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's Tom Massey, who I like, but is not looking at political reality in this. They may take him out any day now. So, again, then what are we going to do with the speaker here? How far is this going to go? Now, I'm not on board where he seems to be leaning if he's going to put a straight up and down vote on Ukraine and send $60 billion to Ukraine. So be watching for that. That may be coming our way. I was telling Dan, though, I'm glad Chris called. I'm glad he did that. But it tells me we have such a long way to go here. Do you want to win? You think Doug Mastriano, Dan's inviting him on, and we'll bury the hatchet in the sense that I'll just let Doug Mastriano talk. If he can't convince you this is the way to go, the guy not only is very conservative. But he also went to the ends of the earth looking at election fraud of one sort or another in 2020, right? Did anybody do that more? I didn't agree with all of it. So if this guy says to you, mail-in balloting or you lose, what more do you need? I mean, what is it that is needed here to penetrate this? I get the revulsion, but I also get the only way to do this every waking moment. They can't win. We must win. And our mission is this talk station, I think, is the biggest player in winning Pennsylvania. Guy Shiraki will be here. Dan, tell him we might need, to 35 or so. I don't want to have him waiting here because we got a couple people we want to get in.
Yep.
Let's see. Let me go to Robin in Milford, Delaware. Robin, afternoon to you.
Hey, Dom, how you doing?
Okay.
Okay, so I heard Chris call in, and he was talking about going back to the old way of voting, and he's definitely not on the right track. What we need is, now tell me this, is ballot harvesting legal in Pennsylvania?
What do you mean by that? Do you mean
ballot harvesting, going out and picking up ballots?
No, it's not.
Okay, all right. So I thought that it was.
No.
All right. So
no, in fact, when it comes to dropping off ballots and whatever, you can't even do your husband or wife's. No. So we don't have to worry about that part. We have two-pronged here. Getting people to bank their vote and stopping all these shenanigans on the other side. I'm a suspect as much as anybody of the drop boxes. I got what he's saying. You take care of that by the defensive, but the offensive move has to get people to vote by mail.
Well, we definitely need more grassroots efforts. We need more people that are willing to volunteer their time, to get that done. They need to go to their local Republican districts and they need to volunteer their time.
Well, we do have people doing that, but we need the president to give the okay, and then this will be a lot smoother. And that's why, Robin, I bring up Doug Mastriano, who is extremely conservative, was the face of talking about fraud in the 2020 election. And he just tweeted out, got to do mail-in balloting. I can't do any better than that than if Trump comes on and says it.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's going to happen whether we like it or not. So we need to get on board with it.
You're exactly right. Thank you. Thanks, Robin, very much. All right. Guy Shiraki's with us. Those on hold will take your calls. Maybe put on some. We'll see how it goes here. He's got his roadmap out on how to win, how Republicans can win in Pennsylvania. Nobody has gamed this better. But again, if Doug Mastriano, just think about it. If you're a talk radio listener, you know how opposed I was to Doug Mastriano being the nominee on the governor's side. And look what happened. Not only did we lose big time to Josh Shapiro, setting him on course, and you know what he's trying to do this time around, but we also lost the legislature, largely because of him. And he now says mail-in balloting. So Dan will appeal to him, and I'm going to say, I'll shut up, Doug. This is a public service for the two of us together. You come on, you make the case. Maybe you'll take a call or two with people like Chris and others. I can't come up with anything stronger. And I hope that Laura Trump has Trumps here. I think you heard Laura Trump on my show saying two prongs, election integrity and also the offense. You can't play defense. You need offense and defense. I get that. I'm just stunned. I'm telling you, you'll lose. 100% you'll lose. Just like I believe if you say no exception to abortion and you're running out in Bucks County or you're running statewide, not only are you going to lose, you're going to take everything else down with you. Those are two that I can tell you are immediate losses, 100%. I would tell Roe, Dan, get that secret phone out I told you about. Tell Roe, we found somebody. I'm putting all the chips in, everything we have on that. Tell Roe she's got to go along with it. We'll see if Guy Shiraki would do that. He's next here. Dan, would you bet on that? Or were you too busy making a parlay there about 3-point shots in addition to it? Yeah, well, I'll do that, and then Embiid will hit 7 3-point shots. No, we can't do that.
Too busy trying to text Doug.
Yeah, I'm sorry. To ensure the drinking water in your home is clean and pure, just do what I did. Trust Martin Water Conditioning. For about 50 years, the Martin family has put their passion for clean water to work for their customers. They are the water experts, and my Connecticut system from Martin guarantees that only crystal clear, all natural water flows from my tap. It tastes great, even in tea and lemonade, anything. It provides peace of mind knowing it's clean and fresh. And right now, it's their consumer appreciation sale. Receive up to $500 off when purchasing a Connecticut water system, 18 and 48-month special financing, or 10% off the spot-free car rinse system and more. Their knowledge and expertise unmatched. What I really love about Martin Water Conditioning, their integrity and dedication to incredible customer service. Visit martinwater.com or call them at 800-887-7555. Do that today to learn more. The offer expires April 22nd. Offers cannot be combined or applied to prior sales. That's 800-887-7555.
Medication? My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. If there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around, and I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Weather is sponsored by United Tire.
It will be a very pleasant day today with plenty of sunshine. High temperatures still well above average at 74. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low 54. And for Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies return. Chance for some showers, especially during the afternoon. High 64.
With all the driving you do this spring, make sure you take care of your car. Schedule an appointment at United Tire. From new tires to oil changes to state inspections, the skilled technicians at United Tire are here to help. Visit UnitedTire.com. That's UnitedTire.com.
He's a former coach with two sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right. That's real important. The golf game. Right. As we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural. And that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 215-999-3000. That's 215-999-3000. 215-999-3000.
Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships
Country
matter.
ain't the country I was raised in.
No, it's better. I'm the bad guy. Duh.
All right, Dan loves that. That's Morning Joe today. We'll replace some of that in the 2 o'clock hour. Dom Giordano show.
Our world's coming to an end.
I love Fishapine, though, on Twitter first, Dan, about our side question. Jill Biden elevated your grandmother's drapes and upholstery. Who wore it better, Jill or the curtain rods? I'd say the curtain rods.
There are a lot of floral designs that do look like they belong on window
my
dressings.
Goodness. Nicely played. That's a good one. Guy Shiraki is back with us. Elections are about hearts, minds, and getting voters to vote. His roadmap to Republicans winning in Pennsylvania and keeping his promise to Sal, this guy, I think he met at a class reunion at the Mummers Museum and telling him what Republicans have to do. But we just heard from Chris, and I respect that. Well, mail-in voting is all going to be cheating. The Democrats are going to cheat more, so why do it? All right, let's go to Guy. Hey, Guy, welcome in. I don't know if you heard any of that or Dan told you about it. I was just asking the question, Guy. I don't know if you saw this. It's a launch point for a column, though. Doug Mastriano on Twitter just came out for mail-in balloting, saying we won't win otherwise. Doug Mastriano. And I said, Trump is about the only thing I could produce better to tell people to do that than Doug Mastriano. And yet there's still this resistance.
Yeah, well, good afternoon. And first thing I talk about in terms of winning, step one is unity. So if we can bring Dom Giordano and Doug Mastriano back together and bury the hatchet, right?
Yeah.
That's step one.
Yeah.
Step two is mail in. And what I say to Chris and all the other folks is we can do all of the great sessions on talk radio. We can have all the wonderful posts on Facebook and Twitter. We can do all the Zoom calls. But if we're not in office, we can't change anything. We can't fix the border. We can't stop reckless spending. We can't get school choice. We can't help cops. And we can't change the election law. So we have to win to change. And right now, they're using 5 tools. We're using 1. We keep losing. It's time to adapt. And you and I spoke about it last week. I commend you on your memory. I promised there'd be a column, and there is, because I always keep my promises. But look, it's yet another plea to say, look, I not only double down on mail-in, but say it is all the other tactics. It is drop boxes. It is satellite offices. And learning from our friend in Montgomery County, with the ice cream truck to get voters, whatever it takes. But to Chris's point, we do not break the law. We do not violate the law. We do not cheat. But there are 5 different ways to help get voters to the polls, and we're doing only one of them. And yet, President Trump fell 1 point short. So let's do the 5 they're doing, and we can win. And if we believe no matter what we can do, they can't win, then you give up on everything, and we all just move to a mountain in Montana. I haven't given up yet. I'm not moving to Montana. We need to learn how to do what they're doing and do it better.
Yeah, exactly right. And we see some signs that it is breaking our way. I won't say, Guy, and bring you into it with the local Republican Party as much as some of the people you knew that came from Virginia, Scott Presler and others, are doing remarkable things. You don't give up on election integrity, too. Linda Kearns, people like that it has to be all out to push back against it. But you're right. If they want to put drop boxes where they want to put them, and we have 54 of the 67 counties, then we should be putting drop boxes where we know they'll be watched and we know where our voters are more likely to drop them off.
Yeah, again, I mean, there's 5 different ways to try and increase turnout. We're using 1. Think of the rally the president had. Think of the rally President Trump had this past weekend. When he comes back in July, August, September, October, and there'll be 5, 10, 20, 30,000 people there. What if he said, everybody now take out your phone? What if throughout whether it's the farm or the stadium, there were giant QR codes and you could just scan it and apply for it? Look, you say, well, everybody at the rally, they're going to vote everywhere. Yeah, maybe 90% of them, maybe 92% of them, but the other 8%, they're going to forget, they'll get frustrated, the car won't work, it snows, it rains. They get to the polling place in Downingtown and it's a 3-hour wait and they say, the hell with it, I'm going home. We need to make it part of everyday voting. We need to make it part of it, what we do for get out the vote and find the votes. Again, it doesn't matter if 55% of Pennsylvanians agree with us, if only 49% show up and vote, and the others and the Democrats beat us because they're better at the game. We have to stop letting them beat us at the game. We're winning on the issues. Let's beat them at the game.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It's all right there, and it's a knowable. Often in politics, we don't know what we have to do to win. Here, the beauty of it, to me, makes me feel good. We know what to do. It's just a question, do we have the will to do it? That's all that it is, because with the will, I think we have enough smart people like you and others who are coaching us up and doing it. And imagine if Trump pivoted on it and talked about whatever way that he wants. Sky, do you have a rationale, though? Laura Trump, has got to be in his ear. On this show, she talked about it right out of the box. What in the world is holding it up? Does he feel he loses the narrative about losing the 2020 election if he says vote by mail? Is that it?
I don't know. And, Dan had an interesting theory. There's a lot of theories. What I know is this. There's no candidate that I agree with 100% of the time on their policies or their tactics. You and I've talked about it. You've said things, I've said things. You second guess. This is where I just respectfully disagree. I hope he changes his mind, right? It's April. There's a lot of time to change his mind. I hope he changes his mind. I hope he becomes a champion. If he becomes a champion, we're unstoppable. I just need him not to be an opponent. But again, like, there are elected officials. There are people I'm going to vote for this November that I don't agree with 100% of the time, but they're the right choice. He's the right choice. Joe Biden's the wrong choice. We disagree on this tactic. I'm hoping that before November, we do get the push to realize this is another tool. And I'm going to continue to work with others out of state and in state to do mail-in, to do the drop boxes. I'm trying to work and encourage county commissioners across the state. I spoke to a group last week on Zoom. I'm going to Cambria County to speak at their county dinner. Think of Johnstown and Slapshot. I'm going there to speak at their county dinner to urge them to do it in what used to be a bright blue and now is a bright red county to do mail-in. I'm taking my medicine show on the road.
Hey, Guy, when you do that too,
joins us.
The thing that bothers me the most, that I just despise, but you know what? I would put 100 of them out there because I care about winning more than anything here, are these satellite offices. They're voting offices, the clown over Montgomery County, Lisa Dealey and these others. They're voting offices, but we don't seem to be able to stop them despite our best efforts. So let's put 5 to 1 out there around churches and in the back pew, whatever's legal. And let's satirize it a bit as we're doing it of how ridiculous this is. And then let's churn out our vote. That's the best revenge here.
No, look, you're exactly right, because you get to do two things. If the rural counties that have been skeptical put out 2, 3, 4 drop boxes, again, you and I've talked about, I've shared with your listeners, there are counties that are 6 times the size, 7 times the size of Philadelphia as a place, but have less people than St. Monica's Parish. So let's put drop boxes throughout at general stores, at feed, where they go to get feed for their animals, at the gun clubs. Let's put them there, and we can point out, the fact that we're just replicating what the other side does. But it also sends the message that we're playing for real too. And the Republicans, even in places like Philly, I would respectfully ask Commissioner Seth is to say, look, they're opening these satellite offices of their own design. They can create the rules. I hope the commissioners in the suburbs, in the city, the Republicans say, look, if we open a satellite office, there should be watchers. We can let each party have 1 or 2 people there. Again, transparent, open, honest. To me, if a voter can walk into a place and get a ballot, fill it out and turn it in, I don't care what you call it. It's a polling place.
Exactly.
There should be watchers. And we should have Democrat and Republican watchers. So even in those other places, we should be asking and make them answer. We should be Seth should ask. The commissioners in Bucks, Montgomery, Delaware, Chester, Dauphin, Allegheny should ask. Make the Democrats explain why partisan volunteer or citizens of each party can't be present like they are on election day. Make the Democrats answer that question. We're not putting it to them. We've been too friendly. We've been too kind. Use their rules and legally learn how to do it better and win. I don't care how many surveys say we're ahead. If we're not ahead on election day when they count, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Elections are about hearts, minds, and getting voters a vote by Guy Shiraki. And Guy, where do people find this and you on Twitter?
So this is in Real Clear, Pennsylvania. You can follow Real Clear Pennsylvania, and if you click my name, you see all the columns. And on Twitter and X, PA Suburbs Guy, and my St. Monica's class of 1978 group will see this column shortly, and they can all talk to Sal about whether they want to praise or criticize him for spurring me into action. And that'll start a whole discussion. But it sometimes those of us don't talk about this every day. There are folks that just have observations and insights, and the rest of us need to listen. And he said it's short and sweet. Why don't you just focus on winning and stop all the nonsense? And it was a kick in the butt for me to say, let's stop all the highfalutin stuff and focus on winning. It's important.
Absolutely. Thank you, Guy, very much. It's the South Philly way or the Chicago way. What are you prepared to do? Doug Mastriano answered. Dan's texting him now. Let's see what happens here. Dan working his magic there. I will say nothing. Dan can bring him on. And Doug, tell us mail-in ballot. Thank you very much. The peace is held here. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Dan, time coming up. Hey, bet the NBA playoff tournament with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. You'll get bonus bets back if your same-game parlay doesn't win on any Tuesday night matchups. NBA same-game parlays, the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance to score a bigger payday. I like the Sixers a lot tomorrow night. A lot. Please, God. However you want to play, just head to FanDuel.com/Dom to bet the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay. FanDuel.com/Dom. Make every moment more with FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino, official sports betting partner of the NBA. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 1210 WPHT. You have to be 21 plus, present in Pennsylvania. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Crash Proof Retirement is taking an aggressive, bold step, becoming the very first firm in history to record and store all financial meetings. This unprecedented initiative documents that at Crash Proof Retirement, fiduciary responsibility is not just something we say, it's a legally binding guarantee that we've always delivered to the Philadelphia region.
Savannah McHugh, Montgomery County. Wall Street will tell you they're looking out for your best interest. They say that fiduciary thing, and then it goes out the window. Crash Proof is saying, not only are we saying it to you, but we're going to put it on film. There's no shadow over anything that they do. That's the difference. Crash Proof Retirement has taken the time to show that they care so that we can go home, go to sleep, and not have to worry about it.
Learn why recording financial meetings validates Crash Proof Retirement's fiduciary responsibility. Register for one of the Crash Proof events on May 15th at the Washington Crossing Inn. Choose either the 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. event. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
Hey, Philly. Jason Kelsey here. Even though I won't be playing on Sundays anymore, you can still find me at Lincoln Financial Field on Saturday, May 18th for the Eagles Autism Challenge presented by Lincoln Financial Group. This event raises millions of dollars to support autism research and care and gives you the chance to walk, run, or ride your bike beside your favorite Eagles players. Together, we can transform the lives of individuals affected by autism. Register today at eaglesautismchallenge.org, and I'll see you there.
Dawn Stensland here for Anderson Mechanical Corporation. AMC, yeah, they're the people to trust to keep your home comfortable. The owners are great guys. Kerry and Bill take pride in doing things the right way, and that includes finding the best and most cost-effective solutions. Their experienced professional team will treat your home as if it's their own home. Prepare your AC for hot weather by taking advantage of their spring tune-up special. Visit AMContheweb.com, AMContheweb.com. Tell them Dolan sent you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-688-6641. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-688-6641. That's 800-688-6641. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Paoli. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
It's stand time.
I can handle things. I'm smart and I
everybody safe.
With Dom. That's right. It's that time in the afternoon. Producer Dan takes over for Dan Time with Dom. And Dom, I got some good news for you, or maybe it's bad news, but there's a saga that we've been following here on the Dom Giordano program, Dom Giordano v. Groundhog, as he tries to eliminate groundhogs. And I got some good news from the wife. Rose says, Dan, tell Dom groundhog number 3 is in the trap as of now, so you got something to look forward to going home to.
Oh, God. All right. How many of them could there be? Dan, the whole thing, too, is, and we'll have more time tomorrow.
It's like real-life
about this.
Caddyshack. I love it.
Hey, I may have to have you come up. I just think we have a guarding that goes into the step. For some reason, we never noticed it. It's Rose's house from her parents. There's no cement there on one side of the step. I don't know why. So I keep on saying, well, I want a brick guy, tear up the beginning of the garden. I want to brick it up like the Berlin Wall.
Yeah.
And Rose says, well, they'll just dig underneath. I don't care how they can dig underneath anything because of the garden there.
So I guess you got to go into the ground, like dig into the ground and cement below the brick so they don't dig under it?
I got to put something in there, yeah. This is the third
So
one
you have like
now.
an entire family living under there then, it seems.
I hope it's the last one. We thought the 2 that came out, that was it.
Yeah, like a husband and wife.
The guy said, well, I don't know. They may not have been married. See, I don't condone that with the groundhog.
Living together without being married,
Living together. We had nothing to do with that. The guy who's a trap guy said they may have come from 50 miles away. How are they ended up here?
Yeah,
Yes.
in the middle of the city.
In the middle of the city. What's the
Sure,
trail?
what's
The
going on?
groundhog trail to me. Is this a Democrat plot?
They've been exiled from Kensington to your property. That's
so
what's
send
happening
me
here.
all your groundhog on Twitter at DomShow1210 or other social
Groundhog
media.
support, advice.
Yeah, and advice. I want advice, and we'll continue to. We may have to do a videotaping of this because the guy got them out, 2 of them last week, put all the dirt back on, and then Ro just noticed another hole yesterday.
Well, you got the third one.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a new guy. He's like, they left, so I'm going to move into their
Yeah,
squatter.
Squatter.
It's a squatter groundhog.
Hold on a minute. I need John Fetterman here with the squatter. That's what these are.
That's all I got for Dan Time, Dom.
Oh, come on now. We're just
Call the
getting good
sheriff's
stuff.
department.
All right. Yeah. Well, but that Rochelle, I don't think so. The sheriff's department. No,
That's
my
true.
God. More trouble. All right. If you have any information, there are squatters. Don't forget the side question coming up. Our buddy Steve Feldman. This coordination yesterday of these mobs across the country that have been mocked by Joe Scarborough. We'll replay, if you missed some of Scarborough, his criticism of people who keep on saying what's wrong with the country. You're anti-American, according to him. And Justice Gorsuch, you're going to want to hear this, just asked a great question. Today they were doing oral arguments on this case of people who got charged and convicted with obstruction of major activity in the Congress on January 6th. Gorsuch asked the Solicitor General, okay, what about somebody, that would be Bowman, Representative Bowman, who pulled a fire alarm? Do they get 20 years for trying to stop a vote? That's an official act of Congress. Remember when he did that, trying to change the dynamic? He pulled the fire alarm. Gorsuch asking, what's the difference between that and what people did on January 6th? Brilliant point by Gorsuch. My read is the Supreme Court's going to let these people out of jail on the obstruction charge. And that cuts into Trump and Jack Smith. Big, got to hear Joe Scarborough again. I don't know. We'll have to put Dan on watch every day. We'll be here.
Our world's coming to it.
Mika, come home. You got to be there with him tomorrow, Mika. Calm him down.
Yes, right now I'm looking up the hill, and there are 2, 3. I see a coyote.
All right, batteries plus bulbs. My buddy Roy over there, 2 big stores now. He opened the first batteries plus bulbs 18 years ago. So these are like superstores. He's gained knowledge, ability each year. One on Route 73 in Mount Laurel, the other on Tilton Road in Northfield. Trust Roy and his staff to fix your tech, whatever it might be. It could be sentimental value. I've told you the story of this husband that passed away. Roy sent me the long letter that the wife wrote, thanking them, just overjoyed because she wanted to retrieve precious family photos from the broken phone the husband left. Apple and others couldn't do it, but Roy's guy Neftel did it. And when you see this, you get what makes him and his staff tick. They want to get you back on track with whatever the technical issue might be, sentimental, business, it doesn't matter. It's the original batteries plus bulbs. Mention my name when you go in either store in Roy's stores and be entered to win a $50 gift certificate to use at Mount Laurel and Northfield locations. No purchase necessary. To reach these great guys, this staff, call Roy at 856-638-0778. Stop in Mount Laurel, Northfield, 856-638-0778.
In these unusual economic times, do you wonder what to do with your money? If you have questions about retirement planning, IRAs, 401ks, tax planning, or any other type of question, then listen to The Heart of Your Money. Heard every Sunday from 9 to 10 a.m. here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, featuring noted author and financial expert Joe Yakovich. The Heart of Your Money will focus on you, your family, and the best ways for you to navigate your financial portfolio. That's every Sunday, 9 to 10 a.m., The Heart of Your Money with Joe Yakovich, here on Talk Radio 1210.
Joe Yakovich is registered with, and securities and investment advisory services are offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC. Member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
Spring is in the air, and so are dust, pollen, and dander. Before you turn on your AC system, make sure you schedule a Horizon Services spring tune-up to avoid costly breakdowns and clear away allergens that have been building up since last year. Plus, right now, when you schedule a spring AC tune-up, we'll also schedule a free fall heater tune-up. Book today at horizonservices.com/radio. For anything cooling or plumbing, you can trust Horizon to get it done and get it done right the first time.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we have absolutely incredible offers, and a plethora of both new and certified Volvos from which to choose. We are eager to offer amazingly competitive prices because we need the room for all of our construction vehicles. When leasing or purchasing a new or certified Cherry Hill Volvo, you become part of our team. Join Cherry Hill Volvo for the pricing and attention you deserve. I am Judith Krepnick, president of Cherry Hill Volvo.
What's the room again?
1240, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could just...
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
So I'm going to teach you a chant in Persian
that you can use if you ever encounter those Zionist freaks, whether they be Iranian or whatever. All right. Now I don't drink margaritas, but we all know what a margarita is. We all know what a bar is. So you're going to say Marg Bar. Marg Bar. Marg Bar Israel. 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 Thank you. Oh, so it has two meanings depending on who's asking. It can mean death to or down with. So can we get a Marg Bar America? We can get a Marg Bar America. Yes, we can. Marg Bar America. Marg Bar America.
That, of course, our translator standing by. America. They hate America. That's what this mob is about yesterday. How are they that coordinated? Even though we played you earlier on the Dom show, Joe Scarborough is saying Fox News was showing this. There was no coordination. There were just a few protesters yesterday across the country causing mayhem, except in Florida, where they were dragged out of there. Here in Philadelphia, the response was pretty good. They just were heckling Joe Biden again in Scranton. Some sound may come up on that, Dan. I'm watching Fox now. It just happened. So
Fox
shortly.
News, I'll just say it on Fox News. They didn't want to show Donald Trump in trial. So they got 3 protests and said, protests shut down America, basically.
All right, let's go to our friend, of course, Steve Feldman, Executive Director for the Greater Philadelphia chapter of the Zionist Organization of America. Steve with us on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Steve, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dom, for having me back. It's a pleasure to be back, and good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Steve, we'll get to yesterday and Joe Scarborough not understanding the big story of the day when Americans across the country were kidnapped, held captive by these people who are just running amok. Question that comes up, though, one of the dodges used is they'll say, well, I have nothing against anybody who's Jewish. I really don't have anything, sometimes they say, against Israel per se. I just don't like Zionists, like the Zionist Organization of America. So what is a Zionist?
So a Zionist is somebody, doesn't even have to be Jewish, actually, who believes that the Jewish people are entitled to self-determination in our legal and historic homeland and to live in safety. That's really all it is. It's not a mystery. It's nothing ominous. It's what all other peoples the world believes deserve. The Jewish people are indigenous to the land. I mean, the ties of the Jewish people to the land go back thousands of years. Anybody who's ever picked up a Bible and opened it up realizes that it's common sense. It was recognized by the League of Nations, the United Nations, the United States, most of the free world back in the early part of the 20th century, and made international law. And that's really what it is. And Zionism is integral to the Jewish people from a religious and cultural and ethnic element as well. I mean, there's certain obligations, religious obligations Jews have that can only be done, for example, in the land of Israel. I mean, there's other, right? I don't want to turn this into a religious.
No,
seminar,
look,
but,
no, I get you, because I've said, as you know, I'm a Zionist too, without a
there's
doubt.
many
It's
Christian
a simple thing.
Zionists.
Yet
Yeah,
it
there's
is
millions.
it often now, because people don't know, they think it's something mysterious, is used as the latest dodge of these mobs. So yesterday it was a coordinated effort here in Philadelphia, New York, 100 different places, some of them very small. And they know the weak spot in America is you have people that are going to let them imprison people, block traffic. The argument is this new A15 group backed by Mumia, apparently, Steve, is they want to shut down economic activity as a way to punish us and Israel for what's going on in Gaza. Who is it that you think is behind this confederation of people?
Sure. So I'm looking at their website, A15 Action, and
Right.
big bold letters at the top. It says coordinated economic blockade to free Palestine. So anybody claiming that it's not coordinated is out of touch with not only reality but these people's intentions. Who's behind it? It could be a lot of different people. There's speculation. There's so-called dark money. At some of these rallies, we've seen hammer and sickle red flags. So any Marxist or leftist or one of those kinds of things, it's almost anybody's guess. I mean, there seems to be a link to the Tides Foundation, which funds a lot of anti-American
But
activity.
Steve, so your contention, though, here's the broad point. This isn't solely about Israel. In fact, Israel might be just along the way. These people are anti-American by and large.
Well, look, if you're shouting death to America and teaching other people how to chant death to America, that means you want to slaughter 330 million Americans or whatever our population up to the minute is right now. If you're chanting and shouting death to Israel, you want to slaughter not only Israel's 7.5 million Jews, but 2.5 million other people, Muslims, Christians, Druze, Bedouin. I mean, the gamut. So basically, it's calling for mass murder. It's anti-capitalism. It's anti-American values as they are explained and expressed in the Declaration of Independence, etc. So no, Israel in many ways is a convenient tool to unleash all this. Obviously, Israel is threatened and is under attack and is the focal point right now since October 7th. It's amazing. Israelis are massacred in an unprecedented attack, and suddenly the world seems to believe that Israel and the Jewish people and the Jewish state are the aggressors. It's a magic trick that David Copperfield or whoever couldn't pull off, but it really is something else.
Well, Steve, the latest contention here, and I talked about yesterday, but for people that missed it, the link here of Israel taking out this Iranian general or terrorist in Iran's embassy. They were shocked that that's over the line by bombing him and killing him, and thereby they deserve the response that we're seeing here in America.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, it was a building near the consulate or near the embassy. It was not the embassy itself. The photographic evidence is pretty clear.
Okay.
Second of all, the people who would make that claim would want the United States to be hit by 300 ballistic missiles and drones because we took out Soleimani. President Trump, ordered that. So are they wishing that for America? Because, I mean, really, why? There's no difference. Soleimani was attacking Americans. This Iranian general was attacking not only Americans and Israelis, but other people. He supposedly was one of the planners of the October 7th massacre. Rather, we know that Americans, Israelis, and people from other countries, other nationals, were murdered, raped, kidnapped, injured. So no, I mean the people who would make that argument, Dom, are the death to America crowd because they're obviously wishing the same thing for America. Terrorists have to be eliminated. The alternative to eliminating terrorists is to have terrorists eliminating civilians. Those are the two choices. Either eliminate the terrorists and save the civilians, or let the terrorists eliminate the civilians and destroy a country. And a civilized society can't condone that.
Steve, any position from your group or personally or whatever? I mean, I think Israel has every right to retaliate strategically. I think that's sound too, not just morally. What are your thoughts if you let this go by? In other words, the argument is it's giving Iran a pass on this.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to, and we're not going to second guess Prime Minister Netanyahu and the War Cabinet and Israel. But obviously, in the Middle East, or maybe it's not obvious, there is this notion of the strong horse versus the weak horse, and it's been written about and chronicled. And there is a respect for strength and a disrespect that welcomes more attacks when there is weakness. The Biden administration, I would like to hope, understands this. Why they're putting on this public stance, we really don't know. I think there are some conflicted priorities in the Biden administration that might be directing what we are saying in public, what that Israel should or shouldn't do. But again, I don't think that we should be second guessing. I mean, everybody can speculate, everybody can play that game, and it's easy to be an armchair general, but Israel's got to live with the consequences. So they're going to do what's best for Israel, and that's really the way any independent country should do. But certainly, Iran should not get away with such an attack. I mean, if not for Israel and the United States and the UK and France and even some of the Arab countries, there would have been massive casualties. 300, these drones are so-called suicide drones and cruise missiles, ballistic missiles. It's a problem. One of the things I wanted to bring out, Dom, if it's okay, is a lot of the protests were making economic claims. The ones in Philadelphia, particularly, there were signs as they were shutting down the roadways, claiming that money is going to Israel that should be instead going for free housing and free SEPTA, all kinds of things, claims. People ought to understand that budgetary monies allocated and appropriated by Congress are separate. What goes for foreign affairs or for military or domestic are all separate. All the money that goes, the American money that goes to Israel, none of it is foreign aid. It's all military credits that are spent in the United States, creating and preserving American jobs and helping to improve American weaponry when we have to use it in the United States. So the people who are doing this are either very misguided or they're just outright lying to the public, or maybe it's both. And so I think it's important to put the truth out there of how specious some of these lies are.
Exactly. Steve, where do we find the Greater Philadelphia Chapter Zionist Organization of America? Where should people go?
Thank you. So it's ZOA Philly, ZOAPHILLY.org. Our national website has a lot of good stuff. It's ZOA.org. And if people want to reach out to me and our chapter, it's the word office at ZOAPhilly.org.
Steve, thank you. We'll stay in touch
thank
soon.
you.
Thank you. Steve Feldman from Zionists for America. 855-839-1210. Coming up, Dom's Money Melody. And then I want to play you Chief Justice Gorsuch. This case today, it's pretty clear based upon the Gorsuch and others, they're not buying that any number of people on January 6th were actually committing an insurrection or obstructing the acts of Congress by what they did, and got 20 years from that. And I'll play you Gorsuch asking the Solicitor General, what about Bowman then? Wasn't that stopping an act of Congress, that vote? I guess it was on the budget at that point. It was a big moment when he pulled the fire alarm. We'll play that. First, though, it's Dom's Money Melody.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
All right, today we're playing for a pair of tickets to see the Down in Derby Wine Festival featuring Secret Service Band on May 4th, 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Veterans Island at Cooper River Park in Pennsauken, New Jersey. Sample delicious wines from South Jersey's best wineries. Enjoy live music, performers, food trucks, fun, and games. You have to be 21 years of age or older to attend the event. It's a tremendous event. So, Dan, what's your backstory?
Yeah, Dom, today we're celebrating a birthday, the birthday of Mary Isabel Catherine Bernadette O'Brien, better known as Dusty Springfield, born today in 1939 in London. And Dom, one of her all-time great hits, Son of a Preacher Man, covered in a lot of languages, so I thought we'd reboot the good old what language is this cover song being sung in today, Dom? Today's a very obscure language. I'm going to put that out there. And I'll put a clue out there for any fans of the HBO series Game of Thrones. This country was featured a lot of the filming locations for that great series of Game of Thrones. So if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, you might know this answer. Dom, we're looking for the language that Son of a Preacher Man is being sung in here. We're looking for the language. Take a listen.
All right, hit us with that language. What is the language? Oh, boy.
You want more clues?
Yeah, give one quick clue, sure.
How about this is where Dalmatians originate from, believe it or not. Yeah, yeah. And also, according to Alfred Hitchcock, this country features the world's most beautiful sunset.
Oh,
and we're talking a little bit. I think we'll take two answers here to a degree because there's a lot of history here that includes Soviets or not Soviets or right on the edge there. So just give us a country, the language that this song is being covered in today, Dom.
855-839-1210. That's how you do it. And you're off to the Great Wine Festival. It is a wonderful event. Been there several times. Hit us with that. I'll play you Neil Gorsuch. Really on point today. If you're going to put these people in jail for 20 years for actually stopping the process of Congress, what about Bowman then? How can you distinguish that? Does that tell us how the court might be thinking? There were several that asked questions like that. And what's the bigger impact? Well, it gets to the Trump case, ultimately. All right, 855-839-1210. You get in, give us your answer on Talk Radio 1210.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Where else are you going to get Donald Trump's trial, protesters in Philadelphia, open-toe sandals, bad music feedback, and Hillary Clinton and abortion? Where else are you getting
Are you kidding? You're not going to get it and have it all blended into a complete insane asylum.
That's correct. This is like football. We call it controlled, organized chaos.
Yes.
It might seem like a cluster, but it's all scripted.
Jim Kelly, this is
I love him.
Start your day with Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Get slimmer for the summer by losing a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days with NJ Diet. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to NJDiet.com. Get ready for spring with NJDiet.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. Earth Day is April 22nd. During the spring and summer, hang your clothes outside to dry instead of using the dryer. What's your one thing?
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth, and if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges to your tax debts daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you'll owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
All right, football fans, the NFL draft is almost here, and the free Odyssey app brings you the latest coverage from the biggest sports radio stations across the country. Which players will help your team the most? Who will make a draft day trade? Will they be ready for week 1? The local conversations about the team you love. All on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Download it today.
Free speech lives here. with Dom Giordano weekdays noon till 3. Talk Radio 1210. WPHT.
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Where's all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That's right. Every day at around 2:13 or so, we get into that. Let's hear the clue today. Tell us what language this famous song is in. How does Dan dig this up? Well, that's a secret sauce. We can't reveal that. Robin in Downingtown. Hey, Robin, what's the language?
Is it Gaelic?
Good try.
Good
No,
try,
Dan
though. I
doesn't
like Gaelic. We gotta
doesn't-
do one of those in the future.
Usually, Dan doesn't get into kind of Latin languages that are defunct now, right?
We should though. That would be
Yeah,
great.
a defunct language. How about some Latin? Audio Bombus takes me back to Newman here.
Find a song sung in Old English. where we replace
This is
the
always
S's
a
with
big
F's.
moment, Dan. They're walking over the articles of impeachment now to the Senate for Mayorkas. I always love it. I think the Democrats had candles when they were doing it with Trump. I remember Madeline Dean being one of the leaders with that face that she makes. All right, Rob in South Jersey. Rob, what language is it?
Hey, Dom, I'm a fellow Newmanite as well. I'm thinking Icelandic.
I didn't even know what the language of Reykjavik. You know who loves that? Jim Kenney. I hear they have good bars in Reykjavik.
Is that where he's
Iceland.
at now?
No, he went to it to show disdain for his Republican opponent. Second time that he ran. Right before the election, he just took off on to Iceland. Eh,
Oh, I love it.
let's go to Ken in Percy. All right, Ken, what is the language?
Well, one of my guesses already went, so I'm going to have to say Norwegian.
No.
Good try. All right, Dan, we need another clue here.
You want another
Yeah,
clue?
yes,
How
yeah.
about that? It's bordered by Slovenia. I'll put that out there.
Okay.
Give you a little perspective.
All right, how about if I give the leader there? Maybe that'll help.
What's that?
Tito.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I don't know. That may or may not help here. Let's go to Bob in Pennsauken. Bob, what's the language?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bob.
Good
It's
afternoon.
Croatia.
That is very good. How did you know that?
I cheated.
Oh,
How'd you cheat? It's not fair.
I looked it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All
Yeah,
right.
Sometimes you can look up the clues, and if it takes this long,
It was the clue.
yeah, I mean, it's not a bad strategy. If we get 4 people down, look up some of those clues, and maybe you can get that answer. There
all
you
right,
go.
I'll
That's
put
what they're
Bob
out there
on
for, right?
hold. I don't know if we're serving him at Wine and Derby after that admission. So, well, I'll take that under advisement.
Look, I there's someone expected. I mean, if I'm saying it's the country that's where Dalmatians are from, I don't expect people to know that. Besides the one Mike Opelka who texts me saying for some reason he knows where Dalmatians originate from and he knew Croatian right away. So it is Croatia. We would have taken Yugoslavia as an answer too,
Yes,
but Croatia
Tito.
is the correct answer.
The great Tito. Okay. All right. Now, next up, Neil Gorsuch, who is very underrated, I think was a great Trump pick. I don't think that about Kavanaugh, and I certainly don't think it about Amy Coney Barrett. I got to be honest. There may be a B- to C. Gorsuch is an A- at this point, maybe an A. Listen to this line today, and here's why it's important. These are people put in jail for 20 years under the claim they obstructed the official acts of Congress. Serious thing, 20 years, the January 6th. Well, he wants to know, with the Solicitor General, who's testifying why this should stick with these people in jail for 20 years for this. In other words, an insurrection without calling it an insurrection or proving that it's an insurrection versus a riot. He wants to know, what about Bowman then, who is a representative after all? Listen to this exchange.
What does that mean for the breadth of this statute? Would a sit-in that disrupts a trial or access to a federal courthouse qualify? Would a heckler in today's audience qualify, or at the State of the Union address? Would pulling a fire alarm before a vote qualify for 20 years in federal prison?
There are multiple elements of the statute that I think might not be satisfied by those hypotheticals, and it relates to the point I was going to make to the Chief Justice about the breadth of this statute. The kind of built-in limitations are the things that I think would potentially suggest that many of those things wouldn't be something the government could charge or prove as 1512c2 beyond a reasonable doubt, would include the fact that the actus reus does require obstruction, which we understand to be a meaningful interference. So that means that if you have some minor disruption or delay or some minimal outburst, we don't think it falls within the actus reus to begin with.
My outbursts require the court to reconvene after the proceeding has been brought back into line, or the pulling of the fire alarm, the vote has to be rescheduled, or the protest outside of a courthouse makes it inaccessible for a period of time. Are those all federal felonies subject to 20 years in prison?
So with some of them, it would be necessary to show nexus. So with respect to the protest outside the courthouse, we'd have to show that, yes, they were aiming at the proceeding.
Yeah, they were trying to stop the proceeding.
Yes, and then we'd also have to be able to prove that they acted corruptly, and this sets a stringent mens rea. It's not even just the mere intent to obstruct. We have to show that also, but we have to show that they had corrupt intent in acting in that way.
We went around that tree yesterday.
I know. I heard the argument yesterday, but I guess what I would say is that to the extent that your hypotheticals are pressing on the idea of a peaceful protest, even one that's quite disruptive, it's not clear to me that the government would be able to show that each of those protesters had corrupt intent.
So mostly peaceful protest that actually obstructs and impedes an official proceeding for an indefinite period would not be covered?
Not necessarily. We would just have to have the evidence of intent, and that's a high bar.
They intend to do it, all right.
Yes, if they intend to obstruct and we're able to show that they knew that was wrongful conduct with consciousness of wrongdoing, then yes, that's a 1512c2
All right, let's hold it there, Dan.
offense.
Let me intervene here and put on my judicial robe. Sorry, I don't have it in the closet here today. I think what Gorsuch is getting at, and what this the court's going to say, mostly peaceful protests that he said there. That was a term of art. What he's saying is you're not going to find it with the groups, lady, that are on your side. You are going to find it, though, with the people and put them in jail for 20 years who did what some of these people did during the riot on January 6th. Isn't that the difference? That's a polite way of, I think, where he's going with this. And I think that's accurate. So state of mind. Well, they don't have the state of mind. Why? Well, because they're noble intended. These people were not. So Bowman, that's okay. I mean, how big of a deal was it that they still voted that night? You get 20 years in jail. Realize the importance of this case. I think the court, probably by 5-4, I'm not sure about 6-3, is going to say these people were unfairly punished to 20 years. They read too much into this statute. Why? Because they want to make January 6th something, it's bad enough as it is, the riot. They want to make it into something bigger, insurrection, but they can't prove that. But they're going to get you on obstruction. And if they do that, this is going to play out in Jack Smith's case, big time with Trump. Watch this. I predict Supreme Court is going to say this is overly broad what they've done here. 20 years is ridiculous on this. And that'll come down in June. So we're not too far away. And when it does, it will impact a lot of things. Very, very important case. All right, 855-839-1210. You can get in on Talk Radio 1210. One other quick thing. We'll play you coming up. Joe Scarborough. Dan flagged this today. I saw it, and I sent it to him, but I didn't have a chance to listen until we did. And this
our world's coming to an end.
This is important because it's the latest tactic they're using on the other side, which is to say the Trump people are not only dumb and following Trump, they're not really American. They hate America. And Trump feeds this hatred. Joe Scarborough is proud of America. It's never been more powerful. The economy's never been better. How would you like to see Joe in a supermarket, Dan, as people are picking up guacamole and showing him the prices? How that might go. His hair would get tousled a little bit there.
Because if you read, Mike, the facts are clear. And I'm getting tired of saying this to people who claim to be patriotic but hate America because they're always running America down. They're always trashing America. They're always saying America's horrible. Its democracy doesn't work. We need a dictatorship if Donald Trump doesn't win. I'm tired of people running America down.
And he went on to include, we'll play Fox News Channel, showing not a lot of the trial, which they did yesterday. Joe didn't like that the protesters that shut down America yesterday, his claim they did not. There were 2 or 3 people out there. They really, let's go to the bridge in San Francisco and tell those people that happened. One thing, Dan, I'm not sure. I saw some of the commentary, a woman having to hoof it to O'Hare because they were blocked there with their cars. She said, well, this is a long way and I barely made my flight. But you know what? Think about the suffering in Gaza. Oh, my God. If you're going to continue to let these people kidnap you and say, well, think about Gaza, this is no big deal. It is a big deal. You cannot stop another person. You cannot impede them. You have no constitutional right to do that. Where's it constitutional to do that? To make me listen. You don't. Let's talk about Captain Chucky's. You must listen right now. Sorry. You're going to want to listen because Captain Chucky's is there for spring gatherings. Delicious seafood all the way around. Not too soon to start thinking about a big spread for mom in a few weeks. Make your list and let Captain Chucky's help you with that. And don't forget to order what mom, that would be Ro, loves. That brand new Bang Bang jumbo lump crab cake, a delicious, creamy 5-ounce jumbo lump breaded crab cake with a kick for those who like to spice it up with some heat. Check your store for availability. Important to call them up. Perfect time, too, to check out all of Captain Chucky's offerings. Delicious stuff, mushrooms, various salads, tremendous variety of homemade sides, desserts. You'll save a lot of time. And Captain Chucky's, several choices of breaded, non-breaded crab cakes. Literally a crab cake for everybody. Dessert, soup, sides, appetizers. They use only the highest quality ingredients. Their Gulf shrimp, a huge hit. Always wild caught, never farm raised. And you know my favorite, the delicious Dom rolls. So visit Captain Chucky's today. There's a location near you. Just visit WeLoveCrabCakes.com. WeLoveCrabCakes.com.
It will be a very pleasant day today with plenty of sunshine. High temperatures still well above average at 74. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low 54. And for Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies return. Chance for some showers, especially during the afternoon. High 64.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or biglou.com.
This is Bill Hoffman, president of Hoffman's Exterminating. We've been protecting Delaware Valley homes and businesses from pests for 34 years, all while supporting our local community. We also support those who protect us, our veterans. Robert Rutherford, our Director of People and Culture, served 10 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. We at Hoffman's have made a commitment to hire veterans. Our veterans are valued, and the skills they learned in the military are transferable. Join the Hoffman's family and visit us at hoffmansexterminating.com. Hey, it's Rich Zioli. This spring is your chance to get the perfect smile from my friend, my dentist, Dr. Mike Veneria at Veneria Dental. Dr. Mike is the master of implant dentistry. I've been telling you about Dr. Mike for years. My entire family goes to Dr. Veneria because the level of care and commitment to dental excellence. The Dr. Mike and his team delivers to every patient is unmatched. He's been delivering results that surpass expectations, and that has made him a top dentist in New Jersey for 10 consecutive years. He has one of the most respected reputations among his peers as a master of dental implants. So, if you've been on the fence about getting that dental procedure done, reach out to Dr. Mike today. You have a choice, a clear choice for you and your family. So give Dr. Veneria a call. I promise you won't be disappointed. With 2 locations to serve you in Cinnaminson and Woodbury right over the bridge, schedule your free implant consultation today for your perfect smile. Call 856-786-2020 or veneriadental.com, VANARIA, veneriadental.com.
It's a Joe Conklin Comedy Show fundraiser at the Church of the Incarnation in Mantua, New Jersey.
We're raising money to send altar server Christina McNasby to the shrine at Lourdes in France.
She's such an inspiration to everyone in the parish. But when I hear her story and when I hear about all the surgeries that she went through, and my heart really goes out for her.
This is why we're going to send her over to Lourdes, because we're hoping for a miracle.
The Benefit Comedy Show for Christina McNasby, Saturday, April 20th. Get tickets at joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Tune in to Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturdays at 11 a.m. to hear Phil Canella and Joanne Small. The Crash Proof Retirement Show, Saturday mornings at 11 on Talk Radio 1210.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
Our world's coming to an end. Help us, Jesus. The country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better. I see a coyote.
All right, Dan can't get enough of this. This will be a running theme from Morning Schmo. Boy, Joe, losing his mind today. Why are you showing those protesters? Why do you hate America?
Fox News, I'll just say it on Fox News. They didn't want to show Donald Trump in trial, so they got 3 protests and said protests shut down America. Basically, this weekend there were like 4 migrants.
That's all. Okay, Joe, wherever you live. Let's go to Scott in Mount Laurel. Don't forget the side question coming to you on that, too. Hey, Scott, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. I'll tell you, that Solicitor General said, quote, meaningful interference. Gee, I wonder what that means. That means we'll decide. If we
Yes,
want. I mean,
yes, getting inside the minds of people versus tangible evidence on that. That's exactly what she's saying, Scott. And Gorsuch was a master there bringing up Bowman. I'm sure they didn't know what to say to that. Yeah.
By the end, he had practically got her to acknowledge that the guy pulling the fire alarm should be in jail for 20 years. So we'll see what happens with
exactly.
that.
And again, if he's a barometer, and I think he might be, this is going to really cut to the January 6th case.
Yeah, and one of the biggest problems in the country is consistent application of the law. I mean, it's unbelievable. 20 years for that compared to what they get away with. It's just such hypocrisy. Dan, I got to give you a little shout out. I did like that little night court music in the background. That was nice.
It's a reference to 24-hour Dom Giordano court. Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's almost, and it's funny that what we're watching, if it weren't so serious, it's almost as comical as that.
Yeah,
the way they come up with stuff.
Exactly.
A real quick on the mail-in voting. I think the problem is people that listen to this show and call this show, we're all political junkies to some degree. There are a lot of people that would vote for us that won't necessarily get to the polls no matter what. Somebody gets sick, something happens, their kid did this, did that. Those votes, we got to get those in advance. Yeah, the cheating we got to address, but there are a lot of votes that we leave on the table with the casual Republican voter.
Yeah, and what it is, Scott, once you know you have them, you start what Democrats are good at. They start stretching. So you got solid starting 5 in basketball. Now you take a roll at getting somebody spectacular, which is the person that voted once in the last 12 years. That's what they're doing.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, you brought up basketball. It's funny. It reminds me so much that being so against the mail-in voting is like remember the first 10 or 13, 15 years that people didn't want to shoot the three-point shot because they were against it being put in. And it's like at some point you got to embrace it as part of the game.
Exactly. Scott, what is your thing that got better?
NFL football, I love watching it, but the Red Zone channel took it to another level.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Oh, okay.
I love that answer, Scott.
I don't know if I like
Every
that
Sunday
one.
I watch the Red Zone now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It disrupts the game to me a little. Too much of it.
Well, you're not a fantasy guy, are you?
No.
See, that's the
But
thing.
the red
it's
zone,
like,
yeah, the red zone is, yeah. Well, what I think is fantasy football brought it to women more, or
oh,
great
100%. Or
casual
younger kids
people.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn it into a video game.
All right, here's the man. I see what he's going to tell us here. Joe of Exton. Joe, good afternoon.
Yes. Hello, Dom, and good Tuesday afternoon. Regarding the side question, there's been an improvement in dog food, going from cans of horse meat in kennel ration to supermarkets containing packs of dog food consisting of fresh meats and vegetables.
Very good, Joe. Do you have a dog?
Yes, a Porgy. Porgy and Bess.
Porgy and Bess.
I love it. Joe, are you feeding your dog food? Or my dad weirdly feeds broiled chicken and broccoli to his Shih Tzu. Are you feeding dog food or real people food to your dogs?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Cooking for the Porgy.
Freddie the cat, the problem we have, he's a fancy feast guy. He's never had the other
Oh,
kinds.
he's a fancy feast.
But wait a minute.
He's
It's
a
even
bougie kid.
worse. He has to be the sliced fancy feast.
Oh, you
And
slice?
getting the sliced, not every store has it. In fact, most don't. So we go crazy with this cat. He can tell instantly it's not
Does
sliced.
he have a British accent?
Yes, I think he does. All right.
Sliced fancy feast.
Robert in Ben Salem. Hey, Robert, afternoon.
Hey, Dom, Dan, it's good to talk to you guys today. I'm a little jarred because I was going to mention the three-point shot, but I'm not surprised that Scott beat me to it. To Chris, I understand him. I'm a dinosaur too, and I'm going to be there to vote, but there are a lot of people that won't get out that could get their votes in, but he seemed to imply that if Republicans do mail-in ballots, we're cheating too. And I take exception to that. Okay, we're not going to have boxes of Republican mail-in ballots brought in the middle of the night. You know, we're just trying to beat them at their game so that we can change the parameters of the election.
Right.
That's
Well,
it.
Robert, he was saying also, well, they're going to cheat, or they're going to cheat more, or something like that. Look,
Good.
so
Make them cheat. Make them cheat their asses off.
Right. Like, we're not going to play the game now. It's a two-part game. The defense is election integrity, gone after that. We got to drill down on that too. But the other is offense. And the way to do it, Robert, you know me pretty well. I would never sign off on satellite offices. You know what? I feel like opening one of my own now. Guy Shiraki's right. In the red counties, put satellite offices there. Put 10 of them there.
We're just being flexible and going with the rules as they go is not cheating. We're trying to make it right by doing it the right way. For my side answer, I'm gonna pay homage to the Earl and go way outside the box on this. My answer is the American greeting. The reason why I say that is when they started stringing up telephones across the country, across all the time zones, they needed a standardized greetings for their operators. And all we had at that time was good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day. And that wouldn't work across time zones. So they tried to come up with a standardized greeting. At that time, the two that were under consideration were ahoy, which wouldn't play in Iowa, and what is wanted. What is wanted? Thomas Edison, when he was over in England, heard a phrase called hullo, Hullo. And it was an exclamation of, oh, my God, did you see that? Hello, did you see that? But he misinterpreted it and put an L in and invented the word hello, which we use today. Did not exist until Thomas Edison invented it.
We got to give Edison credit for something else.
There
now.
you go. Take
Come
that,
on.
Tesla. Go invent something,
No.
buddy.
And it's not even an invention. It's not even an invention, really, because you don't invent a word, you coin a word.
Exactly.
But that's okay. It's his invention. You guys have a great day.
Thank you, Dan. That's exactly what we want out of the side question. You learned something that was unbelievable. Now, I would have stuck with, why didn't they say aloha?
Aloha.
Aloha.
I like
yes.
ahoy.
Or ahoy.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, mateys.
Ahoy,
Ahoy, Dan. Aloha, Fishabine.
I love now the Earl and his out of the box answers are now giving people like Robert.
Yes.
We'll hear from Earl after the break, right?
Oh, man, he's going to have trouble winning the 2024 Caller of the Year. God knows what he's going to have to do.
People are stepping up.
The
because of him.
race
It's
will
great.
be very tight. The balloting. I may have to open up a satellite office to count the ballot. All right. I've told you about my friend, dentist, and board-certified prosthodontist extraordinaire, Dr. Robert Bentz, especially all that infrastructure he has. He loves those things, and he puts them to great use. But what you don't see in a lot of offices is the personal touch. Whether it's a routine visit or a comprehensive, multifaceted process, he and his staff sit down with you, create a clear plan, step by step, with you telling him how you're feeling about that, taking that into account. So if you've been putting off a dental problem, for you just didn't like the dental care you were getting, whatever the reason, and you're finally ready to get that smile that you've always wanted, in addition to that, now's the time to see the Bentz difference. Call Dr. Robert Bentz, the Bentz Dental Group. You will see that difference. Make the appointment at 610-272-6949. The website, bentzdentalgroup.com. You've heard me tell the stories of people that I've sent there, and every time I go, I'm due to see them in a couple of weeks. It's something new, something else they've learned to help people get great dental care and overcome any phobia or fear. It's 610-272-6949, 610-272-6949.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
If you put the words retirement savings crisis into Google, you'll get about 81 million references to explore. Jim Cipriotti at Retire Ready Financial Group doesn't need Google to know you're worried about retirement. Between inflation, rising taxes, crazy markets, and the uncertainty about Social Security, he understands. That's why he offers a complimentary retirement second opinion. It's a no-obligation meeting for you to talk about your concerns about retirement. You want to know if you're going to be okay? Let's find out. Don't trade the stress of work for a new kind of stress in retirement. Call Jim Cipriotti today, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415 to schedule your complimentary retirement second opinion. Or go online, retirereadyfg.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC, NPN number 2083768.
April is here, and if your windows won't open for fresh air or seal tight to keep out pollen and bugs, then talk to Window Nation. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you can save. Plus, save even more with no interest or payments for 24 months. With proven quality, you'll get affordable windows that meet or beat the national brands. Don't miss out. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Oops. Ever had your singing lessons cut short by icy water?
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Say goodbye to those cold notes with Navien tankless water heaters. With Navien, you'll hit all the right notes without the surprise chill. So keep singing and let Navien keep the hot water flowing. And get ready for the encore when you get your utility bill.
La 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 la.
Navien tankless water heaters. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com.
As a roofer, spring means the start of my busy season, which means I've got to get organized. With help from Beacon, I can save time with Beacon Pro Plus and 24/7 access to live pricing, delivery tracking, order history, and more. Plus, this spring, I can earn $1,000 and the chance to win a $25,000 backyard renovation just by buying my CertainTeed shingles online with Beacon. No purchase necessary. Now that's what I call a spring cleanup. Visit BECN.com for official rules and to start earning entries.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop. The threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, Clementon. Yeah! We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT. The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, this coming off way back at the beginning of the show. Eggs Benedict today. So Dan, the master of the brunch, says,
yeah,
eggs good, but something that made it better. That's what we're looking for.
You had some English muffins,
yes.
some Canadian bacon, some hollandaise sauce.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, God,
so
my
good.
doctors should put that on TV. Warning, American College of something. Let's go to the Earl of Tacconi, see what he has today. Earl?
The 2023 Caller of the Year.
Odds-on favorite. He's not in the play-in game, Dan. He's like the Celtics at this point. Who can knock him off? Earl, what do you have today?
Real quick, thank you, Dom. Real quick, when it comes to the mail-in voting, I understand and appreciate your point that we need to cancel every Biden vote with a Trump vote, that when they're counted, we don't get swamped with a whole bunch of, mail-in Biden votes. I can understand that. What makes me paranoid, besides Robert stealing my thunder and stealing my shtick, is the fact that the votes are going to be counted by a city government employee who's a member of a city union wearing a Biden 2024 T-shirt and counting the votes, and the possibility of changing my vote from Trump to Biden. And we need, monitors to make sure that doesn't happen. But I just have that in the back of my mind.
Well, of course, that's a large part of it, and drilling down on better mechanisms to ensure that we have the watchers there. Absolutely. And that's what Laura Trump's talking about also.
And I don't have a Paul Harvey answer for today, but I think I have a decent one. And my answer is the roll, which made the sandwich better because you don't want a cheesesteak on white bread and you don't want a hot dog on rye.
That's a great point. Can you imagine cheesesteaks on a slice of bread?
Oh, my goodness. All right. Homer in Belmar. Hey, Homer, what do you have today?
Yeah, hi. Fast food restaurants which had limited choices, no menu, no waiter or waitresses, was made even faster by the addition of the drive-through window.
That's a great one.
Wow, Dan is the biggest proponent of
I
the
love
drive-through
the drive-through window. And you know what else it improved upon is the fast service food that started with like Horn and Harditz. So
there you go.
Got rid of Horn and Harditz as well. So a double-edged sword there.
Yeah, that tickles my fancy. All right, before we decide today who goes into the hat, tomorrow, Linda McMahon back on the show because Joe Biden is in Scranton today talking taxes, the difference between what he wants to do. The Wall Street Journal, Dan, in honor of this, says that 63% of new audits last year were aimed at middle-class filers. 63%, not the so-called fat cats. We'll break that down tomorrow. And Jeff Andrew at 2 o'clock with President Trump coming to Wildwood again, this time on the sands of Wildwood. All right, Dan,
some of the best today, Dom, Scott and Mount Laurel, NFL Red Zone, elevating NFL football. Right. For a lot of fantasy football fans, that is the case. Robert and Ben Salem, the American greeting, going from essentially nothing, but when the phone was created with Edison, coming up with hello after mistakenly hearing something else. And Earl of Tacconi, I think, was a third finalist with the roll making the sandwich better with the point that nobody wants to eat a cheesesteak on a slice of bread.
I think the hello was pretty good.
All right, Robert and Ben Salem.
Robert and Ben Salem into the hat. All right, I saw Rich out here. He's in the house, ready to go. You got Rich Cioli next for 4 big hours. If you have any, sorry I didn't get to the groundhog solution. Hit me on Twitter at DomShow1210. Send me an email. We'll talk about that tomorrow and other things. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
Hi, this is Norman Chaikin, also known as Norman the Floorman. Every night, my wife calls me to dinner in the same way. Yells out, "Dinner's on the table. Come and guess it." We're the